The darkness fades, and you open your eyes. The wallpaper, with its retro patterns, is slightly yellowed. An empty desk sits beneath the blinds, sunlight streaming through the window into this sparsely furnished small bedroom. You push yourself up from the bed, the unique feel of cotton fabric against your palm, soft and real. This is the game, you say, hardly believing your eyes. This morning at 8 o'clock, Wayne Technology launched Earth Online, the world's first RPG full immersion game. A one-to-one recreation of Gotham City's architectural structure, also recreating Gotham's famous figures, including the supervillains from Arkham Asylum. Players can freely explore the city, whether it's searching for the mysterious Batcave or visiting Arkham Asylum. Faced with violence and crime, they can choose to stand up or join in. In addition, players can interact with any NPC, make friends, date, and even get married. In short, experience an authentic Gotham life. When you saw the promotional text for Gotham Life, your first reaction was that the developers were crazy. With this kind of technology, why would they choose to recreate Gotham City one-to-one in a game? Haven't we had enough of Earth Online? Who would buy this Gotham Online? Until you saw the clip in the game trailer, supposedly captured in-game, of Bruce Wayne doing a striptease, and then it clicked. You would. You don't know why other players are buying the game, but you're here for Bruce Wayne's striptease. Actually, before entering the game, you didn't have high hopes for the graphics. The game trailer looked indistinguishable from reality. But as a friend who's been fooled many times knows, advertisements are often exaggerated. They'll just explain it in a line of text in the corner, so small you won't even notice. Actual product may vary. But now you've completely changed your mind. No wonder it's a Wayne product. The game itself is much more stunning than the trailer. Your bare feet touch the floor, and the floorboards creak. A chill seeps up from below, giving you goosebumps. Not from the cold, but from the shock of the details. They even managed to create complex reactions like feeling. Has game technology really advanced this far? Curiously, you take a look around the bedroom. Passing a full-length floor mirror near the desk, you catch a glimpse of yourself. The mirror reflects your true appearance, only with smoother, flawless skin. Even the dark circles accumulated from staying up late have disappeared. After admiring yourself for a while, you notice you're wearing a cotton tank top and gray shorts. This outfit is fine for wearing at home, but not for going out, at least not in Gotham. You walk past the bed and open the wardrobe, ready to change into something a little more presentable. Unfortunately, the wardrobe looks big, but it's empty inside, with only 2 outfits hanging. Soft nightgown can improve your sleep quality. To avoid unnecessary trouble, it's best not to wear it outside. Workplace suit. Who says you have to wear a skirt to work? Professional ability doesn't need to be proven by clothing, but this outfit will keep people from mistaking you for a student. With no other options, you have no choice but to put on the workplace suit. Sitting on the bed to change your pants. You've just sat down when a game pop-up appears. Tip: resting in bed restores all health points. Your current health is 100 out of 100. Rest. Lying in bed restores all health. Realizing you've triggered a game mechanic, you're intrigued. Yes. You decide to try it out. No sooner than you speak, you lose control of your body. Ignoring the pants halfway on, your body moves stiffly back to the bed. The moment your head touches the pillow, the pop-up appears again. Tip: HP restored. The next second, you regain control of your body, almost tripping over your half-on pants as you get up from the bed. This is so stupid. You're both embarrassed and amused, and you quickly put on your pants, finally thinking about the game setting you just triggered. You don't need to actually rest, just lie in bed for a second to heal. If that's the case, if you carry a bed with you, can you revive with full health anytime, anywhere? This idea excites you. You bend down, grab the bed leg, and are about to exert force when the pop-up appears again. Tip: you must have a bed in a safe house. Moving this bed will cause you to lose the safe house. Move. Safe house. What's the difference between a safe house and a regular house? You can't figure it out. But this is Gotham, and having a safe prefix is definitely better than nothing. To avoid losing the safe house, you have to give up the idea of moving the bed, and decide to find a bed later to test your guess. Until you explore every corner of the bedroom, you don't trigger any similar game mechanics, or find any useful items. Looks like there's nothing else in the bedroom. You open the bedroom door, and begin exploring the apartment. The apartment isn't large, but it's fully furnished, although most of the furniture is old-fashioned, and the TV standing on the cabinet is a model that was phased out years ago. You try turning on the TV, and it turns on successfully, showing the familiar daily Gotham news program. Bruce Wayne has teamed up with several design firms to develop the Tomorrow Gotham plan, starting with rebuilding dilapidated industrial housing areas and expanding Gotham's public transportation system. Tomorrow Gotham? Tomorrow Gotham is Gotham City's latest headline news. Bruce Wayne plans to invest heavily in the construction of Gotham City, especially the public transportation system, with the aim of building a more modern and prosperous city. Seeing this news, your head feels a little dizzy. The developers even brought real-time news directly into the game? You can't help but get goosebumps. You quickly pick up the remote to change the channel, but no matter which channel you switch to, it's just static. You can only watch the Gotham News channel. Okay, Gotham News it is. Although you're restricted to watching the Gotham News channel, you actually feel relieved. You can't say exactly why, but maybe it's because you discovered that the game isn't as powerful as you thought it was, able to bring reality into the game. You continue to explore the apartment, using the news program as background noise. Finally, you find a cell phone and a card on the cabinet in the entryway. Cell phone. Wayne Technology's latest cell phone launched last year. It's the latest model on the market, very durable and powerful. The layout and functions of the cell phone are somewhat similar to those in reality. There are no fancy apps installed, only 4 functions: contacts, text messages, internet, and tasks. Opening contacts, there's only one contact, Dr. G. You try calling, but there's no answer. The text messages page is empty. Undaunted, you open internet, and a lot of information is displayed in front of you. Crime Alley voice. Sally is worried. She wants to save money to educate her children, but her husband doesn't support the idea. Dark secrets. Roman is about to purchase a batch of arms. He's worried that the damn bat will ruin his deal. City new look. After receiving a lot of feedback from citizens, the mayor seems to have a set of urban renewal plans. Abyss of desire. Bruce wants to reform this city, and this idea may bring him death. Bruce reforms? You subconsciously look at the TV. The host is detailing the Tomorrow Gotham plan. Oh, so this internet is actually a reminder of triggerable tasks? You try clicking on one of the messages to see more specific content, but no matter how you click, the cell phone doesn't respond. It just seems to let you know that these things are happening. After clicking a few more times, it returns to the main screen. TCH fine. You continue clicking tasks, which is also empty. After checking all 4 functions of the cell phone, you put it in your pants pocket. You're about to pick up the card when the familiar inventory pop-up appears. 105 inventory slots. The first slot has the cell phone you just put in, and the rest of the slots are all empty. Realizing this, you suddenly remember your earlier guess. If you can really carry a bed with you, will you have to pull a bed out of your pocket later? Thinking of that scene, you almost laugh out loud at your own imagination. But it doesn't matter, players never refuse to be an attention grabber. Closing the inventory window, you pick up the card. Staff card. Wayne Technology staff card. Your proof of employment at Wayne Technology. With this card, you can freely enter and exit the Wayne Technology Tower during work hours. If you clock in on time every day, you will receive a basic monthly salary of no less than 25K. Question mark. Looking at this line of text description, you can't help but type a question mark. Are they really crazy? Isn't it enough to be a workhorse in reality? Do you still have to work in the game? You casually stuff the staff card into your inventory. Working is impossible. You'll never work in this lifetime. This staff card can only be used as a pass at most. You came to enjoy an authentic Gotham life. Who would honestly work? Of course, you have to use local methods to make money, like kidnapping Bruce Wayne. With the great ideal of kidnapping Bruce Wayne and achieving financial freedom, you turn off the TV, leave the safe house, and take the first step in exploring Gotham. Just as you close the door to the safe house, you feel a familiar vibration in your pocket. It's a new text message on your cell phone. Kid, I've developed something very interesting that I think will give you a little help. The lab is waiting for you at 10 o'clock this morning from Dr. G. Newbie task. Dr. G has a new product to give you. Please arrive at the 4th basement floor of Wayne Technology Tower before 10 o'clock this morning. Wayne Technology Tower? No wonder they gave a Wayne Technology staff card at the start. It's used to meet Dr. G. You thought the system detected that your game was an employee internal purchase and triggered an Easter egg. Looking at the time, it's only 8:12, so there's plenty of time before Dr. G's appointment. Let's see where this is first. Taking the elevator downstairs, walking out of the apartment building, and seeing the familiar street scene, you're stunned. This place is exactly the same as the apartment building you rent in reality. Not only are the surrounding street scenes the same, But even the chipped paint on the trash can at the corner has been recreated. You can even see the westward bridge at the same angle in the distance. If the floor and structure of the safe house weren't different from your rented apartment, you would even suspect that the system automatically set the player's real residence as the initial safe house. The familiar stench wafts over, and you subconsciously cover your nose. The skillful action pulls your thoughts back to reality, and when you react, you almost laugh out loud. The developers shouldn't be afraid that players will not be able to distinguish between reality and the game if they made it so real. You don't understand the game developers' ideas. However, since it's a familiar place, it means it's not far from Wayne Technology Tower, so you can completely explore the neighborhood for a while before setting off. Bang! A clear sound of glass breaking comes from upstairs, followed by a man's roar mixed with a few sharp rebuttals from a woman. The unusual sounds immediately attract your attention. Are they arguing? Even if you encounter people arguing on the street, you'll quietly listen in, let alone two NPCs arguing now. Who knows what NPCs can argue about? The soul of gossip is burning, and you're about to go see what's going on. But, looking at this 24-story building, you're a little stumped. You can only hear the sound, but you can't find the specific floor. How do you get up there? Taking the elevator up floor by floor, the NPCs might have already finished arguing and made up. The sound of arguing is getting more and more intense. You know you can't delay any longer, so you roll up your sleeves and start climbing. Real people can climb, and the protagonists of RPG games can mostly go to heaven and earth. There's no reason why you can't climb in this Gotham Life RPG full immersion game. The noble player is omnipotent. Finding a relatively clean climbing route, you tentatively grab the wall and start to exert force. As you guessed, although the exterior wall of the building has not been made with any place to climb, you succeeded. Your body is as light as a feather, almost effortlessly, and you climb to the second floor, then the third floor, the fourth floor. As the height increases, the sound of arguing becomes clearer and clearer. When you find the corresponding floor, you finally hear the content of their argument. I can't believe it, how dare you accuse me? Joan is shaking with anger. Do you think I didn't see the message you sent her? How have you been lately? Ha, how ridiculous. You broke up 2 years ago. You care if she's doing well. It was just a greeting. She was in a car accident and is now in the hospital. I don't mean anything else. Faced with his girlfriend's accusations, William roars angrily. And you went to see him. You even broke up unhappily in the first place. He made you so sad, and you still went to see him. Joan refuses to be outdone. Her brown eyes seem to have 2 balls of fire. So what? What if I did it on purpose? If she hadn't seen the message William sent to his ex-girlfriend, how could she have bothered with that jerk? She roars, he's a jerk, and you're a jerk too. Indeed, pretty jerky. A voice echoed. See, I was right. Joan, who got the support, raised her neck. A joyful smile was about to flash across her face. But suddenly she realized something. Who's talking? The angry emotions were instantly doused with the cold water of fear. Joan looked anxiously at the source of the sound, and when she swept to the window, a black furry head broke into her vision, with clear black and white eyes staring straight at her. Just like in a horror movie, a chill went straight to her head, and Joan was so scared that her face turned pale, and she was almost about to scream. This is the 11th floor. William also heard the voice from the third person. His reaction was quicker. He subconsciously pulled Joan behind him and turned around cautiously. When he saw the head lying on the corner of the window, he was shocked. Oh my God, who are you? How could anyone climb up here? You, who are happily eating melons? Question mark. The NPCs reacted so quickly. The NPCs are so smart that it was beyond your expectation. You just casually agreed. And the voice wasn't even that loud. But both of these NPCs not only heard it, but also seemed to be scared by the reaction. Don't say the reaction is quite real. You politely said, I'm sorry, I'm just a curious passerby. If you don't want to be heard by others, remember to keep your voice down next time you argue. Joan? Question mark. William? Question mark. Which normal passerby would climb outside someone else's window to eavesdrop? Seeing that they are so smart and real, you want to go inside and chat with them. If possible, it would be even better to borrow their bed to do a test. Just about to open the window, the man shouted vigilantly, What are you going to do? This shout scared you so much that you almost let go. Such a high place. Falling down by mistake will definitely kill you and start over. Just wanted to accuse him of being too loud. You saw the woman behind him secretly opening the drawer of the cabinet. Bet a pack of spicy strips. There must be a gun in the drawer. Seeing the woman take out a handgun from the drawer, You don't want to experience resurrection for the time being. And silently take your hand back. I have something to do. I'll chat with you later if we have the chance. Damn it. Any NPC can have a gun on hand. Why doesn't your safe house have one? Keeping a record of the developers in your heart, you climb down quickly, until your feet step on the ground again. You realize afterwards that you have just climbed at least 10 floors, and an unspeakable sense of pride arises spontaneously. TCH, I'm really great. You patted the non-existent ash on your hands contentedly, and decided to explore all the way to Wayne Technology Tower. There are many pedestrians on the street. Seeing so many NPCs, you are eager to talk to them. But no NPC is willing to stop and chat with you. They often walk away quickly after hearing you say the second sentence. At first, you tried to chase after them to trigger a few more sentences. But who knew that the other party would run faster? As if you were a terrible monster. You had to give up the idea of continuing to chat after chasing them, and turned around again. The passers-by were looking at you with dodging eyes and walking around you. Recreation is a good thing, but there's no need to be so recreative. Seeing that the NPCs are avoiding you, you lost interest in communicating with the NPCs, and simply went directly to Wayne Technology Tower. Wayne Technology Tower, this tall building standing in Gotham's financial district, brings together top talents from all over the world, and represents the highest level in the industry. It is rumored that the high-tech equipment used by Batman is provided by Wayne Technology. Good morning. Seeing the receptionist, you tentatively greet her. The latter was startled by the sudden greeting. Oh my goodness. The receptionist looked up in a panic, and only when she recognized you, she breathed a sigh of relief and smiled enthusiastically. Sorry, I didn't see you just now. Are you feeling better? Did the you in the game also ask for sick leave? You thought thoughtfully and answered with a smile. Of course, I'm much better. The elevator arrived on the first floor. It's rare to meet a friendly NPC. You like her very much, and decided to bring her some small gifts next time to increase her favorability. I'm leaving. I'll chat with you next time. I wish you a smooth day. The receptionist smiled and watched you walk towards the elevator, and smiled brightly at you as you entered the elevator and turned around. Originally, you were a little disappointed with the game, because of those cold and indifferent passerby NPCs, but seeing her beautiful smile, you felt that you could experience it for a while longer. There are friendly NPCs in the game. Pressing the button to go to the 4th floor of the basement, you greeted another NPC in the elevator. Hi, hello. Oh, the other party may have been concentrating on thinking, and was startled by your voice. Hello. Before you could say anything more, the elevator had arrived on the 3rd floor of the basement, which is where the NPC was going. After the elevator door opened, the other party nodded and smiled at you, and then walked out quickly. You curiously stretched your neck to see what the 3rd floor of the basement looked like. This is Wayne Technology's highest-level research area, responsible for the most cutting-edge research projects. And you are just an ordinary employee of Wayne Technology in reality, and you have no chance to come to this place. What came into view was a wall, and to the right was a frosted glass door with an access control system installed, which completely isolated the prying eyes. Are they guarding against thieves? You returned to the elevator disappointed. The elevator door closed again, and the car began to descend slowly. I don't know if the 4th floor is too deep, or the impatience caused by the imminent arrival. This time the elevator seemed to have been going down for a long time. After about 10 seconds, you heard a ding sound. The 4th floor of the basement has arrived. With the opening of the elevator door, you finally saw what this deepest area looks like. It's too dark. This is your first impression of this floor. Everywhere you look, it seems to be covered with a faint layer of gray. It's like Gotham, which is cloudy all year round. This association flashed through your mind, and was thrown to the back of your mind. Unlike the above floor, which is like a thief-proof cover-up, this floor is generously displayed to you. This is a large comprehensive laboratory. Standing in the elevator, you can see the general appearance of this laboratory. Large equipment and instruments are like dividing lines, circling independent areas. Some instruments you know, some you have never even seen. The center of the research room is a central control station, with a huge screen hanging on it, playing the operation model of a certain particle. You only glanced at it twice and took your eyes back. As soon as you walked out of the elevator door closed behind you. It was not until this time that you realized something was wrong. It's too quiet. It is obviously a large laboratory, but there is not a single researcher. Not only that, all the equipment and instruments seem to be turned off, and the whole laboratory is filled with a strange silence. Like a cemetery. You were shocked by your own thoughts, and got goosebumps all over your body. And you were a little hesitant for a while. This place is really weird. Do you really want to go in? Just as you were hesitating, a gentle and heavy voice came from the depths. Child, you are here. You! Exclamation point. The gentle and inclusive voice dispelled the unease in your heart. You looked over in the direction of the voice, and found a black-haired woman in a white lab coat, appearing on the side of the central control station at some point, smiling at you. She is Dr. G. Strangely enough, when you saw the other party, your heart settled down inexplicably. Doctor! Without thinking too much, you walked quickly towards her. The sound of your heels tapping on the floor tiles was crisp, bringing bursts of empty echoes in the quiet environment. You said you developed something interesting? What is it? Seeing you running so fast that you were about to fly, Dr. G joked. Don't worry, it's here, it can't run away. The kind response made you completely relax, and you couldn't help but joke. Is it a gun? Seriously, I think I'm quite short of weapons right now. Any NPC's home will have a gun, but the player's safe house doesn't. How can this work? Trust me, this thing is more useful than a gun. Dr. G didn't hide anything. She pressed a button on the central control station, and a black box slowly came out from below the central control station. After unlocking the box with a fingerprint, a pair of silver gloves with a metallic luster appeared in front of you, accompanied by a suitable white mist. The gloves were wrapped from the fingertips to the entire forearm. The fully wrapped style did not have the clumsy weight of ordinary metal gloves, but was exquisite and delicate, like high-tech products that would only appear in some science fiction movies. You like its appearance quite a bit. Dr. G motioned you to pick up the gloves. As soon as you picked up the gloves, descriptive text appeared. POG gloves. The magical gloves developed by Dr. G are the best choice for exploring the city. You! Exclamation point. It really is new equipment. While you were observing the gloves curiously, Dr. G explained. I love this land, but sometimes I have to admit that it is indeed full of dangers, and I think these gloves should be able to help you. You happily put on the gloves. These gloves are not only light and delicate, and light as nothing to wear, but also not stuffy at all. You don't know how much I need this. It really helped me a lot. The moment you put on the gloves, a brand new panel appeared. Weapon, POG gloves can be hidden. Strength enhancement, can slightly enhance your strength. To be upgraded. Force field shield, can generate a force field shield that can resist all attacks during the shield duration, lasting for 10 seconds. Will cool down for 5 minutes after use. To be upgraded. You! Finally, there's a sense of playing an RPG game. I said, in this city where everyone has a gun, how can players not have any self-defense abilities? Looking at the function introduction on the panel, your mood is getting more and more wonderful. Who wants to be an unremarkable ordinary person in an RPG game? Haven't we had enough of being NPCs in Earth Online? Of course, we have to have as much fun as we can in the game. I don't have many materials on hand, and I can only do this for the time being. If you get some interesting materials, or accumulate enough energy, you can come to the lab to upgrade the gloves at any time. Even if I'm not in the lab, you can operate it yourself. Speaking of this, Dr. G guided you to reach out and put it on the central control station. You curiously pressed it down, and the screen of the central control station lit up. POG gloves detected. Please select your operation. 1. Upgrade gloves. 2. Unlock auxiliary functions. There are auxiliary functions? You are full of interest in auxiliary functions, and decided to take a look at which auxiliary functions can be unlocked. Unlocked auxiliary functions. Omnipotent key. Can open a door in any place by consuming energy. Instant transmission. Can mark a teleport point and open a teleport by consuming energy. Force field attraction. Can generate a strong force field between any objects by consuming energy, which can pull yourself towards the other party, or pull the other party towards yourself. Time reversal. Can restore any object to the way it was 5 minutes ago by consuming energy. The 4 auxiliary functions immediately made your heart hot. The previous strength enhancement and force field shield are both combat skills. While these are exploration skills, they can also be used as combat skills when necessary. No wonder it's the best choice for exploring the city. You couldn't help but give Dr. G a thumbs up. Doctor, you are so amazing. You can develop such great things. Although you know that these gloves are designed to ensure the game's playability, you can't help but praise Dr. G. Dr. G smiled. Because of your words, I can help you unlock an auxiliary function. Which one do you want to unlock? Just praising a sentence will make Dr. G willing to help unlock an auxiliary function? Your eyes gradually became hot. Before you could start blowing rainbow farts, Dr. G had already guessed what you were thinking. She slowly raised a finger. Don't be too greedy, child, only one. Damn it. Why do you want to torture people like this? You know that no amount of talk will make any changes. So you had to give up the rainbow fart bribery plan and carefully compare the characteristics of the 4 auxiliary functions. After careful consideration, you chose it. Let's go with this one. Dr. G happily helped you unlock the new auxiliary function. Almost at the same time, the weapon panel was updated. Weapon POG gloves can be hidden. Strength enhancement can slightly enhance your strength. To be upgraded. Force field shield generates a force field shield that defends against all attacks for 10 seconds. 5-minute cooldown after use, upgradable. Auxiliary functions. Instant teleport allows instant teleportation to marked locations. Each mark consumes 50 energy points, no consumption or cooldown during teleportation. Yes, escape skill unlocked. After activating the instant teleport function, a 3-dimensional miniature Gotham map is projected from the back of the glove. The entire map is gray, with only a blue glowing dot in Old Town. You instinctively hold your breath and gently tap the dot. A small pop-up window appears on the side. Teleport. So that's the teleport point. You thoughtfully look at the teleport-able dot, and after careful observation, realize that it represents the location of the safe house. So the difference between a safe house and a regular house is this? Safe houses come with a teleport point. You tell Dr. G your guess, and she replies affirmatively. Consuming energy points is to eliminate surrounding dangers. In a high-security place like a safe house, there's no need to expend energy to mark it. That means, as long as you have a single hit point left, you can teleport directly back to the safe house and lie in bed to fully recover. Awesome. That's what makes it a safe house. The convenience of instant teleport piques your interest in the remaining 3 auxiliary functions. You press the control panel again, wanting to know how many energy points are needed to unlock the other functions. Unlocks auxiliary functions. Master key can open any door by consuming energy. Unlocking requires 10 energy points. Force field attraction can generate a strong force field between any 2 objects by consuming energy, allowing you to pull yourself towards the object or pull the object towards you. Unlocking requires 10 energy points. Time reversal can restore any object to its state 5 minutes prior by consuming energy. Unlocking requires 10 energy points. Seeing that it only takes 10 energy points to unlock, you relax. Compared to the 50 energy points required for teleport point marking, unlocking auxiliary functions doesn't cost much. Eager to see how many energy points you have, your eyes dart to the upper right corner of the control panel screen, which displays energy points 0. Wow, it's 0. You. Not surprising at all. Seeing your disappointed pout, Dr. G clears her throat and says, "Do you have any prior combat training? I think you might need to break in these gloves a little." Her words immediately shift your attention. You're right. It turns out that Dr. G is a very good person. She not only unlocks new auxiliary functions for you free of charge, but also prepares a training room specifically for you, allowing you to quickly master the use of the gloves. Beep beep, the sound of a starting whistle rings out, and a hulking figure projected in the simulation throws a punch at you. After freezing 3 times and failing the training, you finally manage to look the figure in the eye, your gaze following its fist. Just as it raises its hand to attack, you clench your fists. Strength enhancement activated. Thump thump thump. You tense up, your ears filled with the pounding of your heartbeat, staring intently at the fist, nearly half the size of your head, as it cuts through the air towards you. Bang! You grab the fist, as effortlessly as catching a feather. Crack! A crisp sound of bone breaking rings out. The fist you're holding explodes like a burst balloon, instantly shattering into tiny black fragments. It isn't until the combat training enemy completely disappears that you belatedly realize that you caught the fist of a guy much bigger than you and defeated him. Realizing this, your spirits swell like a rapidly inflating balloon. Unprecedented excitement surges from your heart to your limbs, and the rolling heat makes your cheeks burn. You did it. Dr. G doesn't skimp on her praise, applauding you. Well done, you've taken the first step. I believe you'll do even better next time. So, do you want to continue strength training or start defense training? You answer without hesitation. Of course, I'm continuing strength training. Now is the time to press the advantage, to get used to facing enemy attacks, and to learn to stay calm. Dr. G. Okay, ready? Your eyes are shining. Let's do it. Beep beep. After an hour of intensive training, you feel like you've been completely transformed. At least when facing a gun pointed at you, you no longer tremble in fear, and even consider taking the initiative to attack after blocking the bullet. These gloves are too good. The two skills don't interfere with each other at all. You can use one hand for shield defense, and the other for punching. Hugging the gloves, you're filled with joy. Dr. G says, the training room will update the training program from time to time. If you want to improve your combat ability, you can always come back for more training. Updating the training program. You know this is a way to improve the player's operating skills over time, which is not surprising. After saying these things, Dr. G reminds you that you can go out and explore the city. Wait, there's one more thing I haven't looked at. Ignoring Dr. G's curious gaze, you quickly run to the control panel and reach out to press it. The glove upgrade interface pops up again. This time you select Enhance Gloves. Strength Enhancement Plus. Greatly enhances your strength after upgrading. Materials required. Dionysus Factor 1. Force Field Shield Plus. Greatly reduces the cooldown time after upgrading. Materials required. Amber Gold 20. Dionysus Factor and Amber Gold? You've never heard of these two materials. But the way to get materials in RPG games is limited to a few options. Either dropped in battle or rewarded for exploration. Only one Dionysus Factor is needed to upgrade Strength Enhancement. This is likely dropped in battle. But who should you fight? It can't be a drop reward for defeating Batman, right? Maintaining an optimistic attitude, you remember the names and quantities of these two materials before saying goodbye to Dr. G. After stepping back into the elevator, your mindset has undergone a tremendous change, and you can't help but admire the gloves. The lights in the elevator are noticeably brighter than in the lab. The gloves rotate slightly, and you're blinded by the white light reflected from them. Tisk, this trick could be used against enemies. You narrow your eyes and mutter, quickly opening the weapon panel and activating the hidden function. Hiding the gloves is good. It also saves NPCs from finding your gloves and trying to steal them. You don't know if they can really steal them, but if they are stolen, you might be so angry that you don't want to touch the game for half a month. Ding! The elevator stops on the first floor, and you walk out of the elevator refreshed, ready to find a place to test the gloves' functions. Just 2 steps, someone bumps into you hard from behind. Fortunately, you quickly stabilize yourself and subconsciously look behind you, just in time to meet a pair of beautiful blue eyes. The owner of the blue eyes has smooth, short black hair and is handsome. Because you're so close, you can vaguely see slight concealer marks under his eyes. The other party looks a little confused, but quickly apologizes to you. I'm so sorry for bumping into you. I wasn't looking where I was going. Are you okay? You immediately recognize the owner of this face. Timothy Drake, Bruce Wayne's third son, the young master of Wayne Enterprises and Drake Industries. Not only is he handsome, but he's also brilliant, often participating in major corporate decision-making meetings on behalf of Bruce Wayne. Drake is indeed confused. He didn't see anyone in front of him when he stepped out of the elevator. It was as if this lady had appeared out of thin air. But he has something to deal with right now, and doesn't have time to investigate this strange little problem. Seeing that the other person is looking at him without saying anything, Drake has no choice but to repeat, "Hello." You quickly snap out of it, and take the opportunity to look at your status bar. Health, 100 out of 100. Damn it. If he had knocked off 1 hit point, you could have fallen to the ground and faked an injury. After all, this young Master Drake is also very rich. Having lost the opportunity to scam him, you force a polite smile. I'm fine. Confirming that you're really okay, Drake walks around you and heads towards the outside of the building. Looking at his tall figure walking away, you sigh softly. That's money. Wait. You have gloves. Why are you waiting for a chance to scam him? Why not just kidnap him? The idea of kidnapping Drake takes root in your heart and grows wildly. This is Gotham. Kidnapping for wealth is a very reasonable thing to do. On the other hand, you're a little hesitant. Drake seems like a nice person. At least the side he shows seems very nice. When you were attacked by a bomb on your way to work, he, as the young master of Wayne Enterprises, made a special trip to the hospital to visit you, not only covering all the treatment and rehabilitation costs, but also readily approving your leave. You feel a little guilty about going after this young boss. After hesitating for a second, you resolutely abandon that bit of guilt. Just kidding, players don't need a conscience. By the time you've decided to take action, Drake has already left the building, walked down the steps in front of the building, and is heading towards a car parked on the side of the road. The golden duck young master is about to fly away. You immediately chase after him shouting, "Mr. Drake, please wait." Drake hears someone calling him and has to stop and turn around. You take the opportunity to quicken your pace and chase after him. When you're only 3 or 4 meters away from him, a gray sedan speeds up from the right side of the square and stops accurately behind Drake. As soon as the car stops, 3 armed men quickly get out of the car. They move quickly and have clear targets, grabbing Drake and running towards the car. You? The fear of facing multiple armed bandits is fleeting, replaced by a strong desire to fight. You're not an ordinary armed citizen, you're a player. Unlike your eager excitement, the person being kidnapped is calm and composed. As if he's used to being kidnapped, Drake doesn't resist at all, and obediently follows the bandits' movements towards the car. He even has the mind to remind you, "Run, this has nothing to do with you." These words really shock you. He's being kidnapped himself, but he still has the mind to remind you to escape. This almost makes you feel guilty. However, he was supposed to be your kidnapping target, and now they've stolen him. Of course, this has something to do with you. Why are they stealing your ransom? 2 bandits hold Drake on either side and shove him into the car. The 3rd bandit points his gun at your feet and fires a shot. Get out of here if you don't want to die. The gunshot triggers your protective reflex. You instinctively deploy the force field shield. Powerful energy bursts out from the invisible gloves, turning into an invisible protective shield in front of you. Crap, too early. That wasn't an attack signal, it was just a deterrent. Annoyed for a moment, you rush up without hesitation, ignoring the gun. You've already activated it, so how can you waste the precious invincibility time? At the same time, a short health bar appears above the bandit's head. 9 seconds. No, don't come over. Run, run. You hear Drake's panicked shout. The bandit pointing the gun at you didn't expect you to rush up. Before his brain can react, his body subconsciously pulls the trigger. Bullets pour out of the muzzle, instantly colliding with the force field shield and turning into nothing, leaving only ripples of transparent rings. 7 seconds. The bandit's eyes widen as if he's seen a ghost. Oh hell, you're AF. He tries to continue shooting in a panic, but you've already rushed in front of him, grabbed his collar with one hand, lifted him up, and slammed him towards the car. Bang! The bandit collides with his companion, who was preparing to get into the car on that side. The latter's head hits the car door heavily, making a loud thud. The 2 health bars briefly overlap before disappearing at the same time. The 2 faint on the side of the car, and Drake, sitting in the car, makes eye contact with you. Drake, aka Red Robin, one of Gotham's well-known nocturnal creatures. In the years he's followed Batman and devoted himself to vigilante life, he's seen many superpowered people and aliens. But when he sees you pick up the bandit and throw him like a cat, he can't help but feel his heart pound. Witnessing an ordinary passerby suddenly transform into a She-Hulk, Drake doesn't know how to feel. Worried? Annoyed? Shocked? Perhaps all of them. The many emotions intertwined, making his mood particularly complicated. But in the end, he only feels grateful. Fortunately, he bumped into you, not you bumped into him. Otherwise, with your strength, photos of him flying out of the building like a ragdoll would go viral online in less than half an hour. Maybe even a video. He can already imagine what headlines the unscrupulous media would use. The weak Drake. Wayne might be abusing his adopted son. And not only would he have to deal with these non-news stories, but he would also have to endure endless ridicule from family members. Unlike Drake, who has time to think nonsense, your mind is focused on the countdown of the force field shield, and can't spare any attention for him. 4 seconds left. 2 of the 4 bandits have been dealt with. One is on the other side of the car, shooting wildly at you as if he's gone crazy. With the protection of the force field shield, no amount of bullets can harm you, only leaving ripples of transparent rings on the shield. One is in the driver's seat. You don't hesitate at all, ignoring the bandit who's attacking you, and heading straight for the one in the driver's seat. Seeing you running towards him, the bandit in the driver's seat immediately tries to start the car and escape. You smash the car window with a punch and grab his arm and squeeze. The shrill scream seems to shake the entire car. The bandit's arm is broken, and the pain makes cold sweat break out on his forehead. He almost faints on the spot. 1 second. Running out of time. Your gaze crosses the car and fixes on the last standing bandit, with a murderous look in your eyes that you don't even realize you have. Time's up. The shield, which lasted for 10 seconds, disappears silently and re-enters the cooldown period. Before you can think of a countermeasure, the bandit you're staring at turns pale. He quickly raises his hands, and the health bar above his head disappears in the blink of an eye. No, 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 I surrender. I surrender. Don't hit me. Huff. Seeing the health bar disappear, you realize that the battle is over and unconsciously exhale. As this breath is slowly released, the blood rushing through your veins gradually calms down, and your heart, which was eager to burst out of your chest, settles back down. It's not until this moment that you begin to savor the joy and pride of winning your first battle. You defeated 4 armed bandits, and even made one of them lose the will to fight and surrender. While you're proud of yourself, you can't help but marvel at how realistic the combat in Gotham Life is. It has a health bar display, but it doesn't force players to clear the health bar. Like the first bandit you attacked, you just picked him up and threw him out, which didn't reduce his health much, but he fainted and lost his fighting ability. And the bandit whose arm you broke, compared to the former, he's conscious and his health bar is also full. But he didn't continue to participate in the battle. Instead, he howled while holding his arm, not to mention the last one who chose to surrender. NPCs don't attack players to death. They give up fighting because of pain. And they may also lose the will to fight because of the defeat of their companions. This kind of thing is consistent with common sense and logic, but no game would set up such an intuitive combat system. Gotham Life is still the first one you've encountered. Under your supervision, Drake ties up all 4 bandits. It's very interesting that he uses the ropes that the bandits in the back seat were originally planning to use on him. After doing all this, he calls the police. And you carefully clean up the battlefield. That is, put everything you can take into your backpack. Guns, taken. Bullets, taken. Wallets, taken. Cell phones, taken. Mints, taken. Hair ties, taken. Nail clippers, taken. Used tissues, taken. Never mind, throw this away. Focusing on searching everything in the car, you don't notice that Drake behind you is staring at you with an unbelievable look. From the moment you put the semi-automatic rifle into your pocket, and the gun disappeared without your pocket bulging abnormally, he realized the problem. Your pocket is more exaggerated than the Bat family's utility belt. A superpowered person? Or something from the mystical side? Various doubts flash through his mind, but Drake controls his expression well. He pretends to know nothing and says gratefully, "Are you okay? I mean, thank you for saving me. Are you hurt?" Of course he knows you aren't. A trained Red Robin wouldn't fail to judge that. But he's Timothy Drake right now, an innocent college student who was just kidnapped and witnessed a fierce battle. What could he know? Huh? You barely spare him a little attention, and continue searching the car. Remembering Drake's nervous reminder just now, you stop and turn to look at him. What about you? Did they hurt you? If you remember correctly, when you rushed up, Drake's tone when he asked you to escape was more intense than when he was being kidnapped. The bandit seemed to want to hit him on the head with the butt of the gun, but he was knocked out by the bandit you threw over. "I'm fine, thanks to you." Drake puts on a look of lingering fear, his blue eyes full of pure gratitude. "I don't know how to thank you enough." Almost distracted by his pretty eyes, you perk up when you hear "thank you." "If you want to thank me, you might as well give me money." Drake pauses. He looks a little at a loss. "Money? Is that enough?" "Of course," you say with certainty, your expression more serious than ever. "Money is the most practical thing. If you give me money, I'll be very happy." Thinking that Drake was still worried about you when he was being kidnapped, you're embarrassed to tell him that you were originally going to kidnap him. But these guys beat you to it. Drake. Okay, now he's sure that you're a poor superpowered person. Seeing your desire for monetary compensation, Drake directly pulls out his checkbook and personally signs a check for $50,000 for you. That's $50,000 US dollars. When you take the check he hands you, you can't help but hold your breath. The sunlight seems to be coating him with a dazzling golden glow. This is an even better generous benefactor than his sugar daddy. Check. A check personally signed by Timothy Drake, redeemable for $50,000 at any bank in Gotham. You carefully put the check in your backpack and decide to go to the bank to redeem it later. "Can we exchange contact information?" Seeing you put away the check with a smile, Drake says euphemistically, "I often encounter things like this, and it's really a bit of a hassle." Is he planning to work with you long term? You're a little surprised because, in your impression, someone with Drake's privileged background and intelligence should be difficult to approach. This difficult to approach doesn't mean that he's difficult to get along with. On the contrary, he's good to get along with, but he doesn't easily give his trust and goodwill. Especially to a suspicious passerby like you who has unclear intentions, helps to solve the bandits, and takes the opportunity to ask for compensation. However, Who would refuse to exchange contact information with a generous boss? Is it contact information that's being exchanged? It's clearly a bright future. No problem. Feel free to contact me whenever you need me. You take out your phone without hesitation and delete, and clear the files you had previously created for young Master Drake in your mind, and create a new file. Drake saves your phone number and takes the opportunity to ask, "What should I call you?" Name? Wait. It seems like this game doesn't have a naming step, and there's no information about the player's identity stored in the safe house. Even the Wayne Technology employee ID only has your photo. Could you be an undocumented person? You're a little skeptical, mainly because the game is so detailed that there's no reason to dig a hole for players in terms of identity. But, what if? Thinking of this unknown hole, even the good mood that the check brought you has dissipated by half. You say casually, "Call me Red Scarf." Drake? Question mark. Drake is clearly a little confused, but he doesn't ask, because there are too many weird names in Gotham. For example, there's a Red Hood in the Bat family, so it's not surprising that a red scarf appears in Gotham now. He accepts the name readily. "Do you mind if I call you Miss Red?" Of course you don't. The boss can call you whatever he wants. After giving an affirmative answer, you hear the sirens in the distance getting closer and closer, and decide to leave immediately. Just kidding. If you're really undocumented, facing the police is like walking into the crosshairs. If the police discover your undocumented status at that time, you'll happily get the ending, being deported from Gotham City. You don't want to start over so soon. Realizing that you want to leave, Drake stops you again. "Wait, didn't you have something else you wanted to tell me?" Exclamation point. Realizing what he's asking, your eyelids twitch involuntarily. You don't want to tell him that it was just a means to stop him from leaving and make it easier to kidnap him. For the sake of the $50,000 in your backpack and the bright future in your hands, you still want to maintain the image of a kind-hearted passerby who helps when he sees injustice in front of him. Got it. Actually, it's because of your adoptive father, Mr. Wayne. You frown slightly, trying to make yourself look more credible. Judging from the change in Drake's expression, you've succeeded. You say seriously, the Tomorrow Gotham plan will bring him a death threat. You'd better hire more people to protect his safety. You haven't seen Bruce Wayne strip dancing yet. He can't die just like that. Drake's eyes sharpen, and there's a hint of well-acted disbelief on his face. How would you know? I have my own information channels. Without explaining further, you don't give Drake a chance to ask questions, and walk away quickly before the police arrive on the scene. Fortunately, the game really recreates Gotham City, so you don't have to wander around the streets looking for the location of the bank. You skillfully cross the road and find a bank to redeem the check. Just as you hand the check to the staff, and before you can ask to exchange it for cash, you feel a familiar vibration in your pocket. You take out your phone, check the new text message on your phone, and say to the staff, "Please exchange this for cash." Your bank account has received $50,000. Current balance, $50,000. You actually have a bank account. That proves you're not undocumented. Without the landmine of identity, you can't help but breathe a sigh of relief. But when you see the balance of $50,000, you can't help but want to complain. The game doesn't give you a single penny, and makes you start from $0. This is Gotham. Gotham doesn't believe in truth, goodness, and beauty. You're extremely grateful that you chose to get rich through kidnapping rather than working diligently. Otherwise, you'd have to go bankrupt and start over before you even got your salary. Thank kidnapping. If you hadn't had the idea to kidnap Drake, you wouldn't have had the chance to save him, let alone get that check. Sure enough, in Gotham, you still have to make money with methods that are unique to the area. After firmly deciding to make quick money, you're about to put away your phone when you see a small red dot on the task function button. How much cash do you want to exchange? The staff's question pulls your attention back. You give her a look. A what? The staff repeats the question kindly, and you remember that you asked to exchange for cash because you were afraid you didn't have an identity account. Exchange $5,000, please. Okay, you're welcome. While the staff is counting the money, you open the task and take a look. Normal task: kidnapping, extortion, rescue. Completed. You tried to kidnap Timothy Drake, but someone beat you to it. Now you've changed your mind. Reward: money plus $50,000, energy points plus 20. You got 20 energy points for a normal task. Energy points are too easy to earn. Thinking of the 3 auxiliary functions that haven't been unlocked yet, you decide to do another task. After saving enough 30 energy points, You'll go to the lab and unlock them all in one go. After taking the $5,000 in cash that the staff hands you, you casually put it in your backpack, walk out of the bank with confidence, and start wandering around the street, trying to trigger another task. Unfortunately, you haven't been able to find any opportunities to take action until you walk under Wayne Tower. I don't understand. Are all the criminals in Gotham dead? Why is everyone so quiet? You mutter to yourself, and subconsciously look up at this landmark building. Wayne Tower, the original site of Wayne Manor, was built by Wayne's ancestors in 1888, and is a well-known attraction in Gotham. When you first came to Gotham to study abroad, you immediately checked in at this landmark building. The tour guide explained the various meanings of this building in great detail, such as the decorative significance of the gargoyles, and the fact that the underground terminal, where the railways meet, is located below the building. You don't remember any of that. You only remember that you can see the entire city from the observation deck on the top floor, which is very magnificent. The only bad thing is that the exterior walls of the entire observation deck floor are made of glass, which makes people feel nervous. No matter how impressive and sturdy it looks, that glass window was made over 100 years ago. It's been enduring wind and rain at the highest point of the city for a century. Who knows if it's really safe now? Anyway, according to that tour guide, the glass is unbreakable. Bang! The sharp sound jolts you from your thoughts. You focus your eyes and see a dark figure falling from the observation deck of Wayne Tower. Holy crap, it really broke. Good thing it didn't break while I was visiting. Wait, this is a game. Maybe the observation deck breaking is part of a quest. A jumble of thoughts flashes through your mind. You rush towards the likely impact point, trying to raise a force field before the person hits the ground. The education you received since childhood prevents you from ignoring a life. Who told you to have magic gloves? They look no different from ordinary people in reality. In short, you still have a basic respect for life, so you charge in. This action causes the surrounding passers-by to scream. At this height, rushing in to act as a human cushion is practically suicide. Maybe Wayne Tower is too tall, or maybe you're running too fast, but you manage to arrive at the approximate landing spot, just before the dark figure falls. Without hesitation, you raise the force field. The dark figure is falling too fast, so fast that the passers-by can't do anything. They can only watch as the dark figure slams into you. Oh no! Completely unable to watch the impending carnage, the passers-by close their eyes. However, the screams or the heavy thud of impact never come. Someone cautiously opens their eyes and almost drops their jaw at the sight before them. You're holding your hands up, palms facing upward, trying to support the falling unlucky soul. The unlucky soul's limbs are bent backward, as if there's an invisible circular shield beneath them. No splattered brains, no torn limbs. The whole scene is harmoniously unbelievable. Even a 2-year-old could watch it without having their eyes covered. So the unlucky soul survived? Nope, rescue failed. The enormous impact slams into the force field, creating ripples. You don't hear a scream or a groan, and you know he's dead. Looks like the force field can't be used to save people like that. You're lamenting this when the falling dark figure slides down the force field and lands in your line of sight. Why is he dressed like an owl? Not only is he wearing bizarre goggles, but he's also wearing a black jumpsuit. Several sharp daggers are stuck in the straps on his chest, and he seems to be carrying 2 swords on his back. There's a strange metal owl head on his arm. This getup screams bad guy. Without any moral qualms, you feel around for his equipment, pull all the daggers off the straps, and stuff them into your backpack. You also pull out the 2 short swords he's carrying on his back. Unfortunately, the short swords are broken from the massive impact. A trembling voice comes from behind you. What are you doing? You turn around and see a young woman. Her expression is as if she's witnessing something unbelievable. You glance at the owl person on the ground. What, do you know him? The young woman is stunned. She shakes her head. No, I don't know him. I just wanted to say, isn't what you're doing a little wrong? You'd rush in to be a human cushion for someone falling, but then you take things from the person you saved? That's a bit. You say casually. What's wrong with it? Where else are you going to get supplies if you don't loot bodies? Steal. Rob. Seeing that the woman seems to want to say something, you cut her off, pointing at the owl person on the ground. Look, he's not objecting to me taking his stuff. The young woman. That's true. Ignoring the young woman, you quickly pick up the owl person's weapon equipment, get up, and prepare to leave. Any further, and you'd have to take off his clothes. And you don't want to take off an owl freak's clothes. Hearing the sound of sirens approaching in the distance, you lift your leg to leave. When your gaze sweeps over the owl person's head, You suddenly catch sight of a small golden glow on his right cheek. Huh, is that a loot drop indicator? The unusual golden light attracts your attention. You reach out to touch his right cheek, but your hand passes through it. The golden light is still there, but the skin under your palm is smooth and flat, with no suspicious loot. Not on his face, is it in his mouth? You directly pry open his mouth, and sure enough, find the golden light, a molar. No way, am I going to have to pull his teeth? I have to say, you're a little disgusted. After all, you're sticking your hand into a stranger's mouth, and a dead freak's mouth at that. But the sirens are getting closer and closer, and you don't want to be questioned by the police and waste time. You harden your heart, reach out and pinch the molar emitting the golden light, and gently pull. Maybe the high-altitude fall loosened his teeth, because you easily pull out the tooth. A description appears before your eyes. Talon's tooth. Talons are assassins raised by the Court of Owls. Amber gold is implanted in their molars by the court. This substance gives talons powerful vitality, making them immortal. Rumor has it that low temperatures have a special effect on talons. Amber gold? When you left the lab, you specifically memorized the upgrade materials needed for the gloves. 1 part dionysium and 20 parts amber gold. Now you haven't even figured out the quest trigger, and amber gold has appeared so nicely, you can't help but click your tongue. This Wayne Tower is really a feng shui treasure. First, Drake was kidnapped and gave you a $50,000 check, and then an owl freak fell from the sky and gave you amber gold. The developers must be biased towards their own group's buildings, and have prepared a lot of quests nearby. I should hang around Wayne buildings more often in the future. Maybe I'll find dionysium. You stuff the molar into your backpack, and get up to leave. You find that the passersby are looking at you with both shock and strangeness. As soon as your gaze sweeps over them, they turn their heads to avoid your gaze, pretending nothing happened. You? ? The expressions of the NPC passersby are confusing. As the sirens get closer, you don't want to waste time here and walk away. First cross the road to the opposite side, walk forward along Commercial Street, and turn right after reaching the intersection. After confirming that the square under Wayne Tower can't see this side, you take out your phone. Now that you've obtained a part of amber gold, the quest section will definitely change. Sure enough, the familiar little red dot appears again. Special quest kill? Scavenge. Completed. The Court of Owls sent a Talon to assassinate Bruce Wayne. The two fell from a high altitude during the fight. You tried to save the Talon, and accidentally killed him, by using the wrong method. So congratulations, you killed this Talon. Reward. Amber Gold 1, Energy Points plus 20. Ignoring the subsequent summary and ridicule, your attention is focused on the introductory text. What does Talon and Bruce Wayne fight mean? Really? Is Gotham's sweetheart that brave? You recall the Brucey baby you saw in the news media. He does look strong, but to say he fought an assassin is a bit much. The game developers are taking the opportunity to flatter their boss, right? In their setting, Gotham's sweetheart can not only fight talons and survive assassinations, but maybe he's secretly been assigned a superhero identity, Richman. Hiss, the pointing of Money Man is too clear, and it doesn't sound as well known as other superheroes. It's better to design it as Batman. Anyway, Batman definitely wouldn't mind the financier playing himself in Gotham Life. Gotham sweetheart version of Batman? Oofed. Amused by the image you imagined, you put away your messy thoughts, and look at the quest rewards. This quest also rewards 20 energy points. Adding the energy points you got from the previous quests, you have a total of 40, enough to unlock all the auxiliary functions. You're awesome. Giving yourself a thumbs up, you put away your phone, and prepare to go to Wayne Technology Tower. You turn around to cross the road, and the roar of a motorcycle mixed with a panicked scream rings out from across the street. You quickly look over, and see a painted motorcycle driving from the opposite side. The guy sitting in the back snatches a bag from a pedestrian on the side of the road. As soon as he gets it, the rider in front suddenly accelerates and rushes straight to the intersection. Biker gang. This scene reminds you of when you first arrived in Gotham to study. You almost had your bag snatched by these damn biker gangs. Okay, you can't beat them in reality, but you can in the game, right? Confirming that the force field is off cooldown, you activate strength enhancement, and actively rush towards the speeding motorcycle. Unexpectedly you, a road-blocking tiger, pop out of nowhere. 2 short health bars appear above the heads of the 2 biker gang members, one in front and one in back. The rider doesn't want to hit you. He roars angrily, "Get out of the way!" You remain unmoved and raise the shield in place. It's difficult to turn at high speed. The rider can't avoid it, and can only slam on the brakes. With a screech of tires, he crashes straight into you. A few screams come from the side of the road, followed by a loud noise. Bang! In full view of the public, the motorcycle crashes into the invisible shield. The out-of-control rear of the car rises high, and the inertia causes it to roll forward, almost staging a wonderful somersault on the spot. Why almost? Because you quickly grab the frame at the rear of the motorcycle and forcibly pull the car back that was about to flip over. Onlookers not only block the motorcycle, but also can pull the car down by hand. This must be a new superpower user. With a thud, the vehicle lands again. The rider hasn't figured out what happened yet, and falls to the ground with the car in a daze. The accomplice in the back doesn't have such good luck, and is thrown out, rolling twice on the ground before stopping. Seeing that the person can still groan and roll around, you move your eyes to the rider, who is looking at you blankly, with a hint of fear in his expression. Faced with his terrified gaze, you smile and extend your hand to him. Hand over everything you have if you don't want to die. Rider. Black eats black? Returning the bag they robbed to the passerby. The passerby thanks you frantically and gratefully, and the admiring gaze constantly sweeps over the wallet in your hand and the painted motorcycle under you. Yes, you even robbed the robber's car. Faced with your bandit behavior of plucking feathers from geese, the two robbers dare to be angry but dare not speak. They can't beat you, and they didn't bring a gun. What can they do? Should they call the police? As a biker gang member, not only was the car robbed, but also called the police. If this gets out, they will definitely be laughed at by their peers, and they won't have to hang out in the future. More and more onlookers are gathering. No one dares to approach, and only secretly take pictures with their mobile phones, or whisper to the people around them. Seems like a superpower user. Why did she come to Gotham? Gotham doesn't welcome superpower users the most. Who knows, she doesn't look like a bad person. Ignoring those gazes, you empty all the cash and cards in the wallet by yourself, and then return the wallet to them. It's embarrassing to learn from others to rob money with so little money. Two robbers. If they had money, they wouldn't come out to do biker gangs. Seeing that they are still standing there, you are puzzled. What are you standing for? Waiting for me to invite you to dinner? Exclamation point. The two robbers exchanged a look, and quickly supported each other, and walked away quickly. Seeing that the robbers just walked away supporting each other, the robbed passerby wanted to say something but stopped, glanced at the motorcycle under you, her eyebrows twitched, and she quickly pressed down the idea of calling the police, and cautiously opened her mouth. Should I pay a reward to express my gratitude? So active? You were a little surprised and became interested. Are you rich? The passerby hesitated when he heard this. In fact, my student loan hasn't been paid off yet. American student loans, You looked sympathetic. What reward to pay without money? Work hard to pay off the loan. Passerby. Exclamation point. The robbers were robbed clean by her, and she didn't need to pay a reward? You tried to start the motorcycle, and thought that the shield impact just now would cause a little problem with the car. But fortunately the vehicle started smoothly. Let's go. You waved your hand casually as a farewell, and rode the robbed motorcycle towards Wayne Technology Tower. Look, with just a little effort, you saved more than $50,000 on the first day of the game, and got a means of transportation for nothing. That's how you make money in Gotham. Because the previous owner slammed on the brakes in front of you, and hit the force field. You didn't dare to ride too fast, fearing that something would happen to the car on the way. But no matter how slowly you ride, it's much faster than walking. In less than 10 minutes, you return to the familiar square in front of the building again. The robbers' vehicles had been towed away, and the broken car glass on the ground had also been cleaned up, and there was no sign of a battle a few hours ago. Really efficient. After parking the car, you were about to enter the building. After thinking about it, you turned around again. Gotham's security is not very good. What if someone steals your car while you are inside? Why don't you put the car in your backpack? You tried to hold the handlebar and stuff it into your pocket. The handlebar just touched the edge of the pocket, and the motorcycle disappeared. The familiar backpack page popped up, and a miniature motorcycle, with a familiar paint job, appeared in the latest grid. It can really be put in a backpack. Great. Ensuring the safety of the vehicle, you walked into the building with light steps. Hi. Passing by the front desk, you took the initiative to say hello to the receptionist, and got a beautiful smile in return. You took the elevator to the 4th floor underground, and checked the quest column for updates. Sure enough, ordinary quest, Black Eat Black completed. You encountered a biker gang robbery on the street, and decided to show them some color. Reward. Amount plus 76, modified motorcycle 1, energy points plus 3. Why only 3 energy points? Compared to the previous 2 quests, which rewarded 20 energy points, the energy point reward for this quest is ridiculously low. But if you think about it carefully, this shot was not for the energy points, but simply to teach the biker gang a lesson, and by the way, black eat black. Strictly speaking, money and motorcycles are the harvest, and energy points are a pleasant surprise. As the saying goes, something is better than nothing. After you adjusted your mood, the elevator slowly stopped. The metal door opened to both sides, and you came to the familiar laboratory again. You walked in and shouted happily, "Doctor, I'm here again. Good afternoon." The familiar gentle voice sounded from behind the control panel, and Dr. G slowly walked out. Her eyes stayed on you for 2 seconds, and she said slightly unexpectedly, "You seem to have brought some special materials." You confessed, "It's amber gold, but I only got one." Dr. G was surprised. "You got amber gold so soon?" Taking out the molar from the backpack, you showed the molar to Dr. G. "It's just good luck. I happened to meet Talon falling in front of me." After briefly talking about wanting to save people with the force field and accidentally killing Talon, you scratched your cheeks embarrassedly and amusedly. This time it's purely luck. Luck is also part of strength. After expressing her affirmation to you, Dr. G picked up the molar and turned to walk towards an instrument in the corner. You followed subconsciously and asked, "I heard that Talon is an assassin raised by the Court of Owls, and the court implanted amber gold in their teeth. Doctor, what is the Court of Owls?" If you want to collect 20 pieces of amber gold, you must find the nest of the Court of Owls. The problem now is that you don't even know what the Court of Owls is. You sincerely hope that Dr. G is not only a player's technological help, but also a player's information help. Fortunately, Dr. G gave the answer. The Court of Owls is a legend in this city. Many children have heard this nursery rhyme. She sang, gently like singing a lullaby, "Beware the Court of Owls, that watches all the time, ruling Gotham from the shadows behind granite and lime. They peck you from your bed, they snatch you from your room, and send you to the Court of Owls, that feast upon the doomed." 1. The gentle voice is like a spring breeze, and you are about to be intoxicated by it, but you are slapped awake by the content of the nursery rhyme. The children of Gotham grew up listening to this nursery rhyme? TSK. You deeply sympathize with the children of Gotham, listening to such a dark nursery rhyme since childhood. It's no wonder that the locals of Gotham have a special temperament. Wait, does Gotham in reality really have this nursery rhyme? I'm going too far. You forcibly took back your divergent thoughts. Doctor, where should I go to find them? It is obvious that Court of Owls is a special novice dungeon. Seeing related information in the safe house exploration stage, and then accidentally killing the Talon who dropped under Wayne Tower. It did not give players time to prepare for exploration. The molar containing amber gold is like cheese that lures little mice. After getting the first one, you will want to get the second one, the third one, and then dig out related task information, and collect 20 pieces of amber gold, as quickly as possible to upgrade the gloves. What is this if it is not a novice dungeon? It's just that the trigger method is too strange, and it's the first time you've encountered learning about the dungeon boss from the item description text. Sounds pretty smart. Dr. G, who was operating the instrument, turned around, and she sighed helplessly. "Sorry, child, I really want to give you more help, but I'm just a researcher." All right. You are not disappointed. Learning about Court of Owls and Talon from the item introduction is already a shortcut, and you can't ask for more details from the guiding NPC. A major selling point of Gotham Life is free exploration. If Dr. G tells you everything, the game will be greatly reduced. As if afraid of disappointing you, Dr. G took the initiative to say, "However, before this, I always thought that the Court of Owls was just a legend in the nursery rhyme, and my understanding of it was limited to the nursery rhyme. They suddenly appeared now. I think there should be some special reason." Special reason? In a flash of lightning, you remembered the information you saw on the internet. Bruce wants to make reforms to this city, and this idea may bring him death. The court does not allow Bruce to rebuild Gotham. In other words, the Tomorrow Gotham plan is detrimental to them. This is a noteworthy clue. You were thoughtful, and then remembered the nursery rhyme sung by Dr. G. The court seems to be secretly watching Gotham City, monitoring everyone, including you? Oh yes, this is amber gold. Dr. G's surprised voice attracted your attention, and you curiously moved closer. Look, that's it. Dr. G held up an extraction bottle, and you subconsciously looked at the extraction bottle, and found that it was empty, but the familiar text description appeared under the extraction bottle. Amber gold, an ancient and precious liquid metal, sweet in taste. Drinking it can delay aging, enhance physical fitness, and obtain a certain degree of regeneration ability. Of course, as a metal, it has excellent ductility and plasticity, has a certain restraint effect on magical creatures, and can be used for equipment upgrades. Amber gold is liquid metal? With this concept, you carefully leaned in front of the extraction bottle, and with excellent eyesight finally saw a drop of liquid at the bottom of the extraction bottle that was too small to be ignored. This is amber gold? Is it too little? You asked Dr. G suspiciously, and got the other party's affirmative answer. This is high concentration amber gold, and it's already very good to get this much from the content in that molar. Looking at the amber gold that couldn't even form a drop of water, you cautiously said, "Does this count as one copy? If so, then you only need to defeat 19 more talons. If not, you suspect you have to slaughter all the talons. I don't know if the talons will refresh." You thought silently. Fortunately, Dr. G once again affirmed, "Of course, but the amber gold content in the molars is different. My suggestion is that you can bring back 2 more. After ending the discussion about amber gold, you remembered the purpose of your visit to the laboratory, to unlock the remaining 3 auxiliary functions. Seeing that you have accumulated 43 energy points, Dr. G raised her eyebrows slightly. Impressive. How long has it been since you left here? And you have accumulated so much energy. Hee. I have to thank the gloves made by the doctor. They are really very useful. Saying that, you unlocked all the auxiliary functions in one breath, and the weapon panel was updated. Weapon, POG gloves hidden. Strength enhancement, can slightly enhance your strength. To be upgraded. Force field shield, can generate a force field shield. The shield lasts to resist all attacks, lasts 10 seconds. Will cool down for 5 minutes after use, to be upgraded. Auxiliary function, universal key, can open a door in any place by consuming energy. Each time you open a door, you need to consume 5 energy points, can be maintained for 5 minutes, unlimited without cooldown. Instant teleportation, can perform instant teleportation by marking a location. Each mark consumes 50 energy points, no consumption and no cooldown during the teleportation process. Force field attraction, a strong field can be generated between any objects by consuming energy. Each time a strong field is generated, 1 energy point is consumed, no cooldown. Time reversal, can restore any object to the way it was 5 minutes ago by consuming energy. Each time the reversal consumes 100 energy points, no cooldown. Wait, how much? You thought you saw it wrong, and quickly blinked hard, staring at the parenthesis supplement in the introduction text of time reversal. Good guy, it's really 100 energy points. Even the special quest about Talon only rewarded 20 energy points. And you have to do 5 similar quests to save enough for 1 time reversal. And it's only reversing to 5 minutes ago. Why doesn't it go Rob? You irritably wanted to put time reversal at the bottom of the box, and a flash of inspiration came to your mind. Can you withdraw all the money from the bank card first, and then use the time reversal function on the bank card? Exclamation point. Wow, am I really a genius? This idea directly swept away your dissatisfaction with the huge energy point consumption of time reversal. If it can really restore the bank card deposit, 100 energy points is not too much. Lifting your hand happily, you were about to say goodbye to Dr. G, and somehow remembered the car in your backpack, and subconsciously said, "Doctor, can you modify vehicles?" Dr. G? Question mark. Dr. G's expression was blank for a moment, and you realized that you asked a stupid question, and quickly waved your hands. Sorry, Dr. G's research ability is too strong, and it makes me feel like you are omnipotent for some reason. I didn't mean to. It's okay, child. Seeing that you regretted wanting to cover your mouth, Dr. G looked gentle. You have a car that you want to modify, right? My research in this area is not as deep as Dr. A's. If you don't mind, I can try to modify it with Dr. A. Speaking of this, Dr. G looked around and quietly lowered her voice. Dr. A participated in the design and production of the Batmobile, the car that Batman drives. This is really a surprise. The same designer as the Batmobile, rounded off again and rounded off again. Wow, you drive the Batmobile. Your eyes were shining, and you were so excited that you wanted to give Dr. G a hug of love. You tried hard to restrain your hands, but you couldn't suppress the corners of your mouth that were rising. Doctor, you will never know how grateful I am to you. Taking the motorcycle out of the backpack, Dr. G didn't care about your unusual behavior. All her attention was focused on the car. Well, it looks a little worn, and the safety is also a problem. Okay, I will discuss it with Dr. A, and I will contact you after the modification. Okay, thank you, doctor. You rubbed your hands excitedly and said expectantly, so how much modification fee should I give? Upgrading and modification should require various materials and energy, right? Hopefully it won't be too expensive. Dr. G came back to her senses and looked at you. Her black and gray eyes were bright and moist, as if she saw a furry animal actively rubbing her hand and wanting to pay for food as a reward. No, child, you don't need to pay any fees. If possible, I hope you can accumulate more energy so that I can do more experiments. You. Say no more, isn't it just energy? Go trigger the quest and accumulate energy points now. With the beautiful idea of accumulating energy points and letting the doctor do more experiments, you took the elevator aggressively and left Wayne Technology Tower. If you want to accumulate a lot of energy points in a short period of time, what should you do? You remembered the 3 tasks you did earlier: accidentally rescuing Drake, accidentally killing Talon, and stopping the biker gang. The first 2 gave 20 points of reward, but the opportunity is rare, and the latter biker gang is a small criminal event that is commonplace and only robs a small amount of money. If you can stop 10 such tasks, you can save about 30 energy points. So where can you find such a place? Of course it's going to Crime Alley. 1. 此处使用了猫头鹰法庭，漫画中猫头鹰法庭的歌谣的原文。Crime Alley, as the name suggests, is the most dangerous and crime-ridden place in the city. Gotham is undoubtedly a thriving metropolis, with its unique architectural style and leading economic strength adorning its beauty. But Crime Alley is an ugly, unhealed sore, exposing its chaotic underbelly. Anyway, Crime Alley is located in Gotham East District, and you're currently in the Gotham Financial District in the south, with most of Gotham separating the two. By the time you walk there, the sun might have set. So take a ride? You stared at the passing traffic for a while, then glanced at the balance in your backpack. Don't ask how it's odd. The $2,477 was swiped from the wallets of kidnapping gangs and biker gangs, who were so poor it was truly impressive. Gotta find a big spender. Buy a copy of Gotham Who's Who later. After adding buying Gotham Who's Who to your to-do list, you realized you were daydreaming and got back to the topic at hand. $2,477 wasn't much, and you didn't really want to pay for a ride. Then use the gauntlet? Remembering the newly unlocked auxiliary function, you opened the weapon panel and looked at force attraction. Generate a strong force field between any 2 objects. Most importantly, it only consumes 1 energy point. You stared at the function thoughtfully. Generate a strong force field between any 2 objects, pulling the target towards you. If so, could you lock onto a distant high-rise, and then use force attraction to pull yourself over? Wouldn't that be like Spider-Man swinging between buildings? Your eyes lit up, ready to activate the force attraction function to try it out. The electronic virtual screen was projected onto the back of your hand, with a red crosshair in the center of the screen. You raised your hand, and the crosshair moved across various objects: streetlights, trash cans, cars parked by the roadside, distant shopping malls, etc. With your hand movements, each time it slid towards an object, the corresponding object would turn markable blue. You tried to aim the crosshair at the furthest segment of the Sprundle Bridge that you could see, stretching out a small section of the bridge surface among the skyscrapers, and that section turned markable blue. Well, even going from Sprundle Bridge to Crime Alley would require at least 1 use of force attraction. It'll cost at least 2 energy points. Spending 2 energy points was worse than spending money, so you immediately dismissed this luxurious mode of transportation. Alright, take a cab. Good news, you ran into an unlicensed taxi driver. Ordinary task, ride in an unlicensed taxi completed. You didn't want to spend money on a ride, but you ran into an unlicensed taxi driver. Congratulations, this trip is free. Reward, money plus 219, energy points plus 3. Not only a free ride, but also getting money and energy points. How is that not a win-win? Win-win, meaning you win twice. Thanks. After arriving in Crime Alley, you thanked the unlicensed taxi driver happily, whose heartbroken appearance contrasted sharply with your smile. You're welcome. The driver forced a smile. Once you got out of the car and closed the door, he sped off with a stomp on the accelerator. Pui pui pui. Caught off guard, you got a mouthful of exhaust and quickly covered your mouth and nose, wanting to get back at the driver. But when you looked up, the car had already disappeared around the corner. Damn it, you're just too kind otherwise, how would he dare do such a thing? Annoyed, you patted the exhaust dust off your clothes. When you were sure it was still neat and clean, you turned around and prepared to enter the notorious street. This street was different from other areas of Gotham. Maybe it wasn't well maintained, or maybe it had been vandalized, but it seemed more damaged and older than other areas. If you remembered correctly, there was also a Wayne memorial built by Bruce Wayne for his parents here. You looked around like a tourist. After only a few steps, someone called out to you from behind. Wait, lady. You? ? Were they calling you? Curiously, you turned around and noticed a motorcycle parked behind the drop-off point. A strong young man was leaning against the bike with his arms crossed. 2 strands of white hair stood out against his black hair, giving him an indescribably fierce temperament. He had a somewhat nonchalant look in his eyes. This isn't a place for a lady like you. Wow, so big. Your eyes moved back and forth between his arms and chest, and a bold idea gradually emerged in your mind. Not at all hiding your gaze, the man also noticed your less-than-proper stare. He didn't take it to heart, reminding you with a patient attitude that didn't match his bad boy vibe. This is Crime Alley. The people here will eat you up and leave no bones. Hurry up and leave. He was actively concerned about you. Unusually handsome face, highly recognizable hair color, and a seemingly bad boy but actually kind nature. Case closed. This was the romance NPC Gotham Life had prepared for players. So you confidently walked towards him. Hello, what's your name? Can we exchange contact information? The young man didn't answer your question. He lowered his eyes and looked at the hand pressed against his chest, his expression complex and subtle as he looked at you. Can I take it that you've fallen in love with me at first sight, right? Lost in the real feedback from the firm chest muscles. You didn't realize his eyes were blue-green. Not a harmonious blended blue-green, but a large area of blue permeated with a hint of green, abrupt and impossible to ignore, until he looked up at you. What special eye color? You thought of the male leads in those romance games, most of whom had special eye colors. Nothing needs to be said. From today onwards, this white-haired, big-chested man is your waifu. Yes, my waifu. Your right hand got lost in the beautiful chest muscles. The excellent feel made it difficult for you to pull away, and you could only awkwardly operate your cell phone with your left hand. Please tell me your contact information. Waifu himself. Lady, you shouldn't call me that. Oh. Seeing his conflicted expression, you suddenly understood. I get it. You think it's too fast, right? I can understand you, because I'm also a shy girl. Ahem. Clearly, waifu deeply doubted your claim of being shy. Someone who starts by touching someone's chest muscles can't be considered shy, right? I'm just being brave for love. Faced with waifu's doubts, you were very heartbroken and could only comfort your injured heart by touching his chest muscles. You know, from the first moment I saw you, I was sad about our inevitable separation. I have a premonition that you and I will have a very wonderful story. You swear, these words came from the bottom of your heart. You've never touched chest muscles with such a good feel in this life. Who knows when you'll be able to touch them next time? Even for the sake of these beautiful chest muscles, you're willing to give Gotham Life a 5-star rating. 1 star for each time you get to touch them. If you can't touch them in the future, don't blame you for only giving 1 star. Silently shedding a tear in your heart for the chest muscles you were about to lose, you realized that operating the cell phone with your left hand was a bit awkward, and decided to switch back to your right hand. Congratulations, your right hand finally found its way home. It was just a pity that this time your left hand got lost again. It's all because the scenery outside is so charming. Waifu's lips seemed to twitch. Seeing you switch hands naturally, and about to press your left hand on him, he dodged without showing any emotion. I can already see it. But you don't even want to know my name. How am I supposed to trust you? Your left hand touched nothing, and you were shocked. How could that be? Isn't your name my wife? He seemed about to laugh, but he restrained himself. Jason. My name is Jason Pennyworth. You can call me Jason. Jason Pennyworth, real name Jason Todd, former boy hero, the second Robin, now an anti-hero Red Hood. He was here only because a child in Crime Alley had sent him a message asking for help. He was waiting for that child. He didn't expect to meet you. No traces of training, and a pair of clean eyes were the reasons he would tolerate your flirtatious behavior. Okay, Jason. You accepted this ordinary title agreeably. I'm different. If you want, you can call me my wife. Jason. He almost sighed. Okay, lady, I understand. So for your safety, please leave as soon as possible. Hearing his implied refusal, you decided to stop while you were ahead. Thank you for your concern, but I can protect myself. As you prepared to put away your cell phone and leave, you glanced at the internet section and remembered that task information. To be placed with the Court of Owls instance, it definitely wasn't an ordinary task, and the energy point reward wouldn't be small. As for the way to obtain task, as everyone knows, communicating and interacting with NPCs is a common way to obtain task information. Just ask the people in Crime Alley, and maybe you can trigger the task. Thinking of the generous energy point reward, you perked up. By the way, Jason, do you know this place well? You've come to the right person. I'm a child of Crime Alley. Jason raised his eyebrows slightly. Tell me, maybe I can help you. A child of Crime Alley? Gosh, born in Crime Alley, but became a kind person. This kind of person is born to be your waifu. Your affection for him increased again. You opened internet and found that information. I received a help message here. Her name is Sally, and she wants to save money to educate her children, but her husband disagrees. Do you know this Sally? Question mark. Jason's face was strange, as if he had heard something unbelievable. You came to Crime Alley for this? Should he say this person was too stupid or too naive? Yeah, she needs help, you answered subconsciously. Jason stared at you for a few seconds, squeezing out a dry sentence. Commendable spirit of helping others. Hey, didn't sound like he was praising you? Just as you were about to speak, Jason restrained the relaxed demeanor he had when chatting with you before. He looked into your eyes seriously, his tone unprecedentedly solemn. Listen, kindness is a good thing, but Crime Alley is far more dangerous than you think. You can't just run here alone because of a help message. The premise of helping others is to protect yourself. Exclamation point. Seriously, you really liked him now. Before you could show anything, Jason grabbed your shoulders and turned you around with a clever move. While they haven't started their activities yet, go back. I'll call a cab for you. Suddenly turning away from Crime Alley, you heard him prepare to make a call and quickly turned around to stop him. Wait, I'm sure I have the ability to protect myself. Not to mention the gauntlet, there were also captured firearms and bullets in your backpack. It didn't count as being empty-handed. Jason's eyes immediately filled with suspicion and disapproval. You directly activated strength enhancement and walked towards the car behind him. Sorry, I promised to be gentle and won't scratch it. What? Before he could finish speaking, Jason widened his eyes in shock, as if he had seen something incredible. Good heavens, what did he see? A young girl with no traces of training, single-handedly lifted his Angelina, the name he gave his beloved car, over her head. The modified Angelina weighed over 800 pounds, but it felt as light as a model in her hands. Where did this demigod or alien come from? Lifting the car with one hand, you were afraid of bumping or scratching it, and carefully lowered it slowly with both hands. After making sure there were no problems, you turned off strength enhancement and stood up, facing Jason's indescribable eyes. You shrugged. I told you, I can protect myself. Not only protect yourself, but you felt like you were terrifyingly strong now. Even if the Joker came, you would dare to rush up and beat him until he bleeded. Jason narrowed his eyes thoughtfully, which made you feel inexplicably creeped out. You wanted to ask him if he knew Sally, but before you could speak, you saw him curl his lips, his tone subtle. Yes, Thrud. Thrud. Seeing your confused expression, Jason thoughtfully explained to you. Amazing power. Thrud is the goddess of strength. He thought you were a goddess, he liked you. Good at making equation substitutions, you came to a satisfactory conclusion. Ignoring that strange feeling. You can call me that. You were too lazy to give yourself a name. As long as it wasn't a malicious name, you could accept it. At Drake's place, you were still Red Scarf. So, do you know Sally? If Jason knew Sally, this task would become very simple. I have channels to get to know her. Jason paused subtly. You said someone sent you a help message, but didn't tell you who Sally was? That meant he didn't know. You weren't surprised, saying vaguely. Well, this is a test for me. Hey, although chatting with waifu was very happy, you weren't someone who would indulge in love and be unable to extricate yourself. Accumulating energy points and becoming Gotham's richest person. That was your Gotham life. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Separation is sad, but I'm already looking forward to our next meeting. With a great ideal in mind, you turned to leave when you heard Jason chuckle. Walking away so simply. I didn't see you being sad at all. Question mark. Oh, you knew waifu was just being stubborn. Wasn't he still reluctant to let you go? Just as you were about to comfort him with a touch, you saw Jason take out his cell phone and say in an exaggerated tone, Goddess, please grant me the honor of having your contact information. Waifu, you're too polite. After exchanging contact information and saying goodbye to Jason Waifu, you finally entered the notorious alley. Accurately speaking, it couldn't be called an alley but a street. Untreated dirt and filth could be seen everywhere on the road. Trash cans were piled full to overflowing, and the air was filled with an indescribable stench. In the RPG games you've played, containers like trash cans are searchable. You didn't doubt that these trash cans were searchable, but, looking at the trash that had been rummaged through messily, covered with strangely colored mucus that made it unrecognizable, and still exuded a stench, you really didn't have the courage to reach out. Anyway, at most you could only find banana peels, slightly rotten apples, and the like in the trash cans, and the Dionysus factor and amber gold you needed wouldn't appear in trash cans or on the roadside. After successfully convincing yourself, you continued to explore this area. The setting sun was setting on the horizon, and you would occasionally see passers-by walking by in a hurry. You wanted to go over and ask about Sally, but as soon as you said hello, the other person wrapped their clothes tightly, lowered their head slightly, and quickened their pace, as if avoiding some kind of virus. After being ignored for the fourth time, an unspeakable sense of frustration welled up in your heart. Before this, you still thought those ordinary citizens and passers-by were cold. Now in comparison, those citizens and passers-by were so enthusiastic, at least they would respond to your greetings. At this rate of investigation, you suspected that you might not be able to find Sally herself by the time the task information expired. Did you really have to knock on every door and search? Hey lady. Just as you were thinking about the feasibility of knocking on doors and asking, a slightly childish voice called out to you. Huh. You looked in the direction of the voice and saw a short child standing in the shadows at the corner of the alley. The child was wearing clothes and pants that were too big and looked a little malnourished and thin, but his eyes were particularly bright and cunning. Seeing you look over, the child made a gesture at you. Over here. Rarely encountering someone who took the initiative to talk to you, and also a child who looked quite clever, you walked into the narrow alley. What's the matter? The child didn't waste time and got straight to the point. I noticed you were looking for someone. People here are very wary. Like you, no one will answer you even if you ask until next year. So you want to teach me a few tricks? You were intrigued. Of course not. The child said bluntly. I can help you find them. You just need to pay a small reward. He made a gesture that would break the defenses of men from a certain country, and said, You look like a reporter on TV. I think this reward shouldn't be anything to you. It might not even be as much as the tip you give casually after a meal. Oh, buying information with money. If you could really buy Sally's information, you didn't mind spending some money, but you couldn't agree so readily. Otherwise, he would definitely try to rip you off. You shrugged. I'll take that as you complimenting me. There's one thing I have to make clear. I'm not a reporter and I don't have a real job. I don't give generous tips. You were the kind of person who even took an unlicensed taxi, didn't give a penny, and even robbed the unlicensed taxi driver. Faced with your statement, the child looked you up and down, his face clearly revealing. Who are you trying to fool? Next time you say these words, I suggest you change your clothes. What's wrong with the clothes? You subconsciously looked down at yourself, and then remembered that you were wearing a workplace suit. You tried to argue. This doesn't prove anything. You still have to wear clothes even if you're unemployed. Why wouldn't you wear them if you've already bought them? The child pointed to your feet. I'm talking about your shoes. You looked at your shoes, white low-heeled leather shoes, with no signs of wear, clean as new. You were speechless. But was that your fault? The game provided them. You didn't buy them yourself. You couldn't go out wearing slippers, right? Maybe you could. Your thoughts were briefly drawn to slippers for a second, and you heard the child humming and hawing. He pointed out sharply. You people are always like this, thinking I'll be greedy and ask for money, right? Hiss. This sentence made you feel slightly guilty. Soon you became confident again, wouldn't you? Of course. The child was even more confident than you, and raised his head unconvinced. You already think of me like that. No matter how much money I say, you'll think I'm greedy. Why shouldn't I ask for more? Hey, he had more reasons than you. Okay, my fault. You finally met someone who could help, and you didn't want to upset the other person. You said seriously, I'm looking for someone named Sally. The child didn't keep clinging to it. Hearing your question, he curled his lips. That name is too common. You don't even have the full name. How are you supposed to find her? Is there any more specific information? There is. You simply told him Sally's troubles. Is that enough? Hearing that Sally wanted to send her children to school, the child was stunned for a moment. He blinked and returned to his previous cunning look. Enough. That was enough? Seeing the questioning look on your face, the child didn't hide anything. Being young, having both parents in crime alley, that eliminates a lot of people. And Sally probably also has a not-so-stable job. Just find someone who meets these conditions. You! Exclamation point. You really didn't expect that this information would be enough to lock down a specific person. And you had a better understanding of the child's cleverness. Okay, you do have some skills. How much money do I need to pay? $20. The child held up 2 fingers. This is the deposit. After I find her, you have to give me another $200. A total of $220? You even robbed $219 from the unlicensed taxi driver. It was equivalent to paying $1 to find Sally, which was still very cost-effective. Deal. You agreed readily and took out $20 from your backpack. What's your name? Where do I find you? Taking the money, the child happily put it away and said without looking up, Call me June. 3 days. 3 days later, find me at Dr. Thompkinson's place, Leslie Thompkinson's. After speaking, he ran away quickly. Leslie Thompkinson's. You remembered the name, and took out your cell phone to send a message to the only contact you had in Crime Alley. Waifu, do you know Dr. Leslie Thompkinson's in Crime Alley? After waiting for a while without a reply, you put away your cell phone and left the narrow alley, only to realize that it was already dark. Did it get to night so quickly? It wasn't until this time that you realized you hadn't eaten all day, but your stomach wasn't hungry at all. Such a realistic game doesn't even have hunger and fatigue values. It wasn't done well. Not doing it not only saved money on food, but also eliminated the need to rest, leaving more time to explore and play. Since you didn't need to eat or rest, you continued to explore. Sally's task had a clue for the time being. You didn't completely rely on June to help you find her. You wouldn't be surprised if June took the $20 and ran away, but he did narrow down the range a little for you, which was why you readily gave him $20. Just as you were thinking absent-mindedly, a street lamp on the side of the road lit up, the dim yellow light dispelling the darkness. The lamp was like a signal. The evening wind blew, bringing the faint, noisy sounds from afar. Crime Alley seemed to wake up. Hearing these movements, you looked around into the distance, wanting to see if there were any unusual movements. Unfortunately, your view was completely blocked by these walls that could be seen everywhere. You simply climbed onto the wall and walked along it. You had to admit that the view was more open this way. Shops, warehouses, low houses, etc., stood along the street, and the buildings were layered on top of each other. Their roofs formed an uneven, undulating line. Looking at these undulating lines, you remembered the RPG games you used to play, manipulating characters to run and jump on the roofs, climbing over walls and obstacles. Exclamation point. Hey, there was no reason why those RPG games could do it, and this game couldn't. Besides, this game could also climb, right? Try it. It didn't cost anything to try. Quickly climbing to the top floor of a shop, you stood on the edge of the top floor, trying to jump to another platform 2 meters away. 3, 2, 1. Jump. Without charging or running, you were as light as a feather, drifting over the gap between the buildings, landing steadily on the designated landing point. Success! The joy of successful testing filled your chest. You tried jumping and running along the roof ridge and top floor. With the rise and fall of your body, the cool evening wind brushed past your side, making you feel the lightness and strength of this body even more. Ha 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 ha. You laughed loudly in happiness, continuing to run along this unusual path. Unconsciously, you passed through the entire crime alley along the rooftops of these shops and low houses. Standing on the top floor of an apartment building, you looked out at the Kane Memorial Bridge in the distance. Looking north along the direction of the bridge, you heard that it was the famous Wayne Island, the location of Wayne Manor. Unfortunately, night had fallen, and you could only see the street lights and flowing car lights on the bridge. The rest was all layered shadows. You would explore Wayne Island sooner or later. You withdrew your gaze, and were about to jump straight down from the roof, when a black shadow slid smoothly from left to right. What was that? You turned around subconsciously, and saw a strong black shadow standing silently behind you, his tall figure extremely intimidating, and the pointed ears on his head indicated his identity. Batman. Wow. You opened your eyes wide in surprise. It was Batman. Gosh, you saw Batman. Living in Gotham for a few years, you had never seen Batman, and could only occasionally catch a glimpse of a black shadow from the propaganda news of the Justice League. You didn't expect to see him on the first day of the game. The night wind blew the cape behind him, and you could vaguely see the full and powerful muscles under the tight-fitting uniform with the help of the not-so-bright moonlight. Such a burly figure made no sound when moving, like some kind of large feline. He also had 2 pointed ears, even more like one. What's in that molar? The processed low voice drew your attention back. What? Sorry, can you say that again? Batman seemed to stare at you for a while. You couldn't be sure because the white goggles blocked all the peeping sight. He spoke again. You know they will assassinate Wayne. You took the killer's molar. What's in the molar? So he came for the court and the talon. Out of trust for this city protector, you didn't mind telling Batman what you currently knew. Most importantly, you didn't want to conflict with him for the time being. If Batman was really an enemy, he would at least be the final boss, and your current energy points hadn't broken 3 digits, so there was no need to make trouble for yourself. You confessed. It's amber gold. It has powerful regenerative functions that make the talon immortal and indestructible. If you don't pull it out, he'll stand up again. Of course, the latter sentence was what you guessed from the item description of Talon's molar. Talon. Batman's tone rose slightly. Looks like he didn't know yet. You explained enthusiastically. Talon is the killer raised by the Court of Owls. I think it should be because of the Tomorrow Gotham plan. Rebuilding Gotham City will be detrimental to the Court of Owls, which is why they sent Talon to assassinate Wayne. This time it didn't succeed. There might be another time. In that case, you could completely go and be Bruce Wayne's bodyguard, and wait for Talon to come to your door. Batman walked 2 steps closer to you, and the resulting shadow almost enveloped you. You know the Court of Owls? An indescribable sense of crisis made your back go cold. You moved backward unconsciously, until the tip of your right foot stepped into the air, and you remembered that you were standing on the edge of the roof. Instinctively you whip around, but there's nothing below you but bare concrete. A fall from this height would be a near-death experience, if not fatal. The courage from your successful parkour suddenly vanishes, replaced by a primal fear, and you step back a little. Tell me. I know, but not much. You reply quickly, catching a glimpse of a shadow with pointed ears silently melting into the darkness beside you. Huh. Was that just your imagination? It looked like Batman stepped back. The thought flickers through your mind, but you don't dwell on it. You focus your sincere gaze on the white lenses. All I know is that the Court of Owls exists. They've been in Gotham for a long time, but I don't know any specifics. Goodness knows you only learned that rhyme about the Court of Owls from Dr. G. Before that, you'd never even heard of the organization. To hide this deeply in Gotham City, you'd need wealth and power beyond measure. Could Wayne be one of them? The thought suddenly pops into your head, but you quickly dismiss it. If Wayne were involved, he wouldn't be pushing the Tomorrow Gotham initiative. It wouldn't align with the court's interests. And even if he were, this plan would be a symbol of his break from the court. You don't know if Batman believes you or not. He just stares at you for a moment, then says abruptly, "Don't cause trouble in Gotham. I'll be watching you." Where did that come from? Realizing he's about to leave, you quickly say, "Wait, I'm looking for the Court of Owls too, we could." But before you can finish, he's already disappeared into the night. Cooperate. You can't help but mutter. Does he even fly? You were only 2 meters away from him, but you didn't see how Batman left. You just saw him vanish into thin air, and by the time you tried to find that dark figure, he was already perfectly blended into the shadows. Wait, a photo. You bitterly regret missing the chance to take a picture with Batman. Damn it, you missed such a good opportunity. But he said he'd be watching you. Isn't that the same treatment as the supervillains? Rounding it off, you're basically a supervillain. Whoa. As a supervillain, you can't have anything to fear. Staring at the concrete below, you decide to start emergency training tonight, to completely eliminate your fear of heights, starting with this little apartment rooftop. You take a deep breath standing on the edge of the roof, and resolutely jump off. The wind whistles past your ears, the fear triggered by the rapid descent quickly flowing to your limbs, gripping your nerves. Before you can break free from this fear, your feet are already on solid ground. Thump! You lose your balance and fall on your butt. Prompt! You fell from a height, HP -20. The coldness of the concrete seeps through your pants to your warm skin. You clearly feel the cold, hard concrete, but without any pain. It feels like you landed on an inflatable sofa. The game is so thoughtful, making the 5 senses so detailed, but reducing the pain from damage to prevent players from avoiding combat out of fear of getting hurt. You get up, dust off your pants, and feel a familiar light vibration from your pocket. You take out your cell phone, and see a new text message. Dr. Leslie is well respected in Crime Alley. She's a rare good person, what's wrong? From Jason's wife. Since June is telling you to find this doctor, she must be reliable. Even if you can't find June, you can still ask Dr. Leslie Tompkins about Sally. You quickly reply to the text. Nothing. Someone told me to wait for him at Dr. Tompkins' place. Love you, wife. There's no reply, but you don't care. You look around, trying to find a taller building to try out. Your eyes land on a semi-new, semi-old apartment building not far away, over 20 meters tall, and you immediately decide to choose it. Tracy just got off work. She recently found a job at a fast food restaurant. The salary, workload, and colleagues are all good. The only problem is the late hours. In the past, Tracy wouldn't have accepted a job like this. Everyone in Crime Alley knows that the night is dangerous. You can lose your belongings, or even your life. But since Batman appeared, things have started to improve. Those lawless guys finally learned the meaning of fear. Especially recently, Red Hood has officially taken Crime Alley under his control. Lost in thought, a damp, clammy wind blows, and Tracy quickly wraps her coat tighter, tucking her neck under the collar. The restaurant didn't sell all the chicken wings today, so the boss let them split the leftovers and take them home. Hopefully the wings will still be warm when she gets home. She really doesn't want to reheat them. She reaches out and feels the bag. It's still warm. She can already see the streetlight in front of her apartment building. Tracy. The familiar voice startles Tracy. She sees a figure standing in the shadows by the steps, where the streetlight doesn't reach. Her ex-husband, who should have died of alcohol poisoning, but is still alive. Seeing that messy face, a familiar suffocating feeling grips her throat. Tracy freezes. The dim yellow light shifts and fades across that familiar face. The sharp, fermented odor she remembers so well stings her nostrils again. You found a job? It's not safe out here at this time. Get away. Before he can finish, Tracy screams. Her ex-husband jumps back, startled, and quickly raises his hands. Whoa, don't get so excited, I didn't drink this time. That's none of my business. Tracy lifts her chin, her eyes blazing with anger that almost solidifies. I have nothing to do with you anymore. She says and tries to step past him, but her ex-husband grabs her arm. Wait, I swear I won't touch alcohol again. I've been thinking a lot lately, I can't. Let go. The suffocating feeling that's closing in again ignites a fire of anger. Tracy raises her hand, ready to smash whatever she's holding into that face. The last shred of sanity, about to be consumed by the rage, can't help but regret. This is the restaurant's signature flavor, and they were willing to give her extra since she was new. But it's all going to waste. The container misses its mark, and the grip on her arm suddenly disappears. A young, clear voice says, "Didn't she tell you to let go?" A girl. Is she an interloper? No, the voice doesn't sound like it. Tracy slowly looks over and sees a young woman holding her ex-husband's arm. The purely Eastern face is not concealed in any way. Not a vigilante, just a passerby. Ow! Let go! Let go! Seeing the man cry out in pain and try to push you away, you mock. You know how it feels to be grabbed now? She told you to let go, why didn't you? You had originally picked out this apartment building, planning to climb to the top for your fear-overcoming training. But you stumbled upon this. The man gets angry and desperate. This is none of your business. Seeing that you won't let go, he angrily throws a punch at you, but you easily catch it. You smile slightly. I just like to meddle. With that you gently squeeze. Ah! The scream clearly echoes through Crime Alley. The residents of Crime Alley seem to be used to this kind of sound. No one comes out to watch, and the usual sounds of daily life quiet down for a moment. You even notice a few windows with lights on being covered with curtains. So wary? You have a new understanding of the wariness of Crime Alley residents. You let go and shove the man away. He stumbles back, his arm broken and his fingers fractured, rendering both hands useless. He can only stagger to his feet, staring at you in shock and fear. You'll pay. Oh. Faced with his threat, you look at him with interest. He's so frightened that he falls back onto the ground. He instinctively reaches out to support himself, but it only exacerbates the pain from the fractures, and his expression becomes even more distorted. TSK, and he still wants to threaten you in this state. You silently purse your lips and turn to the woman who is being harassed. Are you all right? I'm fine, thank you. Tracy takes a deep breath and gives you a grateful smile. If you don't mind, please take this. These are chicken wings I packed from the restaurant. They should still be warm. She hands you the container, noticing a little sauce spilling out from the seams, obviously caused by the violent shaking earlier. Tracy's face turns red. Oh, I'm sorry it. You happily take the chicken wings. I can smell the aroma, thank you. Tracy sighs in relief and unconsciously smiles. You're welcome. She seems alright. On the roof of the East apartment building, a girl with a purple hood is leaning on the railing. What are you worried about? She's more than alright. She high-profilely stopped a robbery by the motorcycle gang on the street, took their money and motorcycle, and put the motorcycle in an unknown pocket. Red Robin stares at the two figures below the apartment building, or rather, at the young girl with the Eastern face. She's announcing her arrival to everyone. A superpowered individual has arrived in Gotham. Delicious fried chicken. Fried chicken containing gratitude, HP plus 50. It can restore HP? You unhesitatingly put the fried chicken into your backpack. Food that can restore HP should be saved for emergencies, like during combat. Wow! Tracy's expression goes blank, her eyes staring blankly at your hand. No matter how many times she sees it, the NPC's reaction feels so real. They express shock in different ways. You've never seen such vivid, detailed, and differentiated reactions in other RPG games. Giving Gotham Life a thumbs up in your heart, you wave your hand. I'm leaving now, you should hurry home too. Ignoring the NPC, you run towards the apartment building, skillfully grabbing the smooth exterior wall, and starting to climb. In just a few seconds, you're already on the 4th floor. Tracy just recovers from the shock, only to see you quickly scrambling up the smooth exterior wall, which looks a little scary from afar. If she was going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and suddenly saw something outside the window. She shivers and quickly wraps her coat tighter, hurrying into the apartment building with her head down. She decides that the first thing she'll do when she gets home is to close all the curtains. Climbing to the roof, and successfully getting over the platform outside the wall, you look down. Because the light from the streetlights is limited, the concrete hidden in the darkness makes it difficult to estimate the distance, which actually reduces the fear of heights. But this apartment building is one you carefully selected. It's much taller than the last one. You lost 20 HP last time. If you don't react this time, you'll probably get a game over. Taking a deep breath, you try to mentally prepare yourself, and finally decide to play it safe. Jump down with Force Field Shield activated. 3, 2, 1. You activate Force Field Shield and jump straight down. Oh, the interloper straightens up. Even though she knows that this woman is most likely a superpowered individual, she can't help but clench her hands when she sees this. What is she doing? She just jumped, without any protective measures, falling from a height of over 30 meters onto a concrete surface without any cushioning. Even a trained person wouldn't get any benefits. Even if they don't die on the spot, they'd be close to death. Red Robin doesn't answer. He stares at the woman's right hand. When she dealt with those thugs this morning, she also raised one hand like that. Is that gesture activating her ability? Or, there's no imagined breaking of limbs, no screams or blood. The woman lands gracefully, her body incredibly agile. She doesn't even follow. She seems to have lost her balance and fallen on her butt. Seeing her nimbly get up and dust off her pants, the interloper says after a while, "Wow, that's kind of amazing." She blinks and suddenly turns to Red Robin. "If I make friends with her, do you think she'll let me play this?" Red Robin. Remembering that she took a $5,000 check and still robbed the motorcycle gang's wallets, Red Robin suggests, "You don't necessarily have to be friends. If you give her money, she'd probably be willing to. She took the motorcycle gang's money. She won't miss the chance to make money." Unaware of this, you dust off the dirt on your pants. This jump looked exciting, but you didn't feel anything. Even though the height was much greater than last time, the force field shield canceled out all external impact. There was no wind whistling in your ears, no sense of weightlessness caused by the rapid descent. The whole process was as stable as riding a fast and smooth elevator. Honestly, it's impossible to be afraid. That's not bad. But you want to overcome the fear caused by weightlessness, just like overcoming the fear of facing the muzzle of a gun and taking the initiative to attack. Like this, you can't get any training at all. So you'll wait for the cooldown to end and try again. This time, you'll jump first and then activate the shield. At worst, you'll close your eyes the whole time. Climbing back to the roof of the apartment, you sit on the edge of the railing platform and take out your cell phone while waiting for the cooldown to end. The task list has a delightful little red dot. Common task. Don't you understand the words "let go"? Complete it. You were just passing by, eavesdropping on some gossip. When you saw a girl being harassed, you stepped up to help. Reward: delicious fried chicken x1, energy points plus 3. It's 3 energy points again. It doesn't matter. As the saying goes, something is better than nothing. After fiddling with your cell phone, the cooldown hasn't ended yet, and you remember to check your backpack. You stuffed a bunch of stuff into your backpack today. Your eyes skim over the thumbnails of mints, nail clippers and guns, and finally land on the 4 cell phone icons lined up in a row. Cell phone. A used cell phone bought from the black market. Don't worry, its basic functions are intact, and it even has some entertainment functions. But don't expect its functions to be very powerful. It's recommended to sell it to the store for recycling. You! Exclamation point. You almost forgot about the store recycling function. You'll find a store later and clear out all this junk. The cooldown has ended. You put the cell phone back into your backpack, stand up and prepare to start training. 3, 2, 1. Jump. After experiencing the 4th high-altitude training, you finally overcame the fear of weightlessness and extreme descent, and even tried to deploy the shield a second before landing. The result was naturally a great success. Woohoo! The high-altitude training was very effective, and you end today's training with satisfaction. After dawn, you'll find another place to continue jumping. It's late at night, and you've never wandered around Gotham City at this time, let alone in a place like Crime Alley. Hurry up, you just jumped over a gap, and a series of hurried footsteps come from the alley below. The heavy breathing is mixed with angry roars. Damn it, can you hurry up, before those spandex freaks find us? Spandex freaks? Does that refer to Gotham's vigilantes? You immediately become interested, and quietly walk to the edge of the roof. Below you is an old 2-story building, not too high, and you can clearly see the movement in the nearby alleys and streets. 2 people are quickly running through the alley, one in front of the other. The first one is carrying a black backpack, and occasionally looks back, impatiently urging his companion to keep up. The big guy who's lagging behind is breathing heavily, and the entire alley is filled with his wheezing. Do we really need to run? The person in front is about to speak when a voice comes from above. I don't think it's necessary. Both of them. Who's speaking? Without giving them a chance to react, you jump down from the 2nd floor and kick the man running in front, sending him crashing to the ground. As if afraid of attracting someone's attention, the guy bites his lip and swallows the pain he almost screamed. Seeing the big guy lagging behind still propping himself up on his knees, not having recovered from the sudden change, you bend down to take the guy's backpack. But he's holding on tight, and you activated strength enhancement. With a crack sound, the crisp sound of bone breaking echoes in the alley. A sharp pain strikes, and the man who was trying to hold back a moan finally cries out. You feel no guilt and say righteously, "Who told you to hold on so tight? Couldn't you just let go?" As everyone knows, what the player likes should be the player's. The guy is furious. His arm is dislocated and fractured, making it impossible for him to move for a while, so he can only angrily look at his companion. What are you looking at? Hit her. Take the stuff back. Hearing this, the big guy rushes towards you without hesitation. You grab his arm and swing him back, giving him a perfect over-the-shoulder throw. Ow. The 2 of them fall into a pile in a mess, having just experienced a heavy kick, a dislocation and fracture, and now being hit by his companion. The unlucky guy's face turns green, and he almost suffocates. You take the opportunity to open the backpack and look inside with the help of the bright moonlight. The moonlight flows over the surface of hard, shiny objects. Wait, what is this? Thinking you must have misseen it, you are about to take a closer look. Bang! A loud gunshot rings out in your ear, and you instinctively turn your head to see a black muzzle pointed at you. The unlucky guy is holding a handgun with difficulty, his face twisted with pain, but full of fierce malice. If you don't want to die, hand over the stuff. You raise your eyebrows. Are you threatening me? The force field shield is back on cooldown. You throw the stolen black backpack into your backpack and start searching the bodies of the 2 unlucky guys. These 2 guys each took a punch and are sleeping soundly. You take the gun that was pointed at you and then go to look for their wallets. The unlucky guy with the gun only has half a pack of cigarettes in his pocket. You purse your lips and throw it into your backpack, planning to sell it to the store later. Then you go to feel the big guy's pocket. As soon as your hand goes in, you touch a piece of soft silky fabric. What is this? You take it out, and see that it's a velvet bag with some weight to it. No way. Seeing this bag, you have a rough guess about what's inside. These 2 guys were desperately trying to get the backpack back, probably because the stuff in this bag is the same as the stuff in the backpack, and it's highly likely to be real. You open the bag and take one out. Sapphire ring. A gemstone ring symbolizing loyalty and purity. Give this ring to the person you love, and your love will be immortal. Wow, it really is a sapphire. While admiring the gemstone ring, a shadow blocks the warm moonlight behind you, enveloping you. Good evening, ma'am. Would you mind if I took a look at what you're holding? The processed voice has a strange accent, and you can vaguely hear a hint of carelessness. You turn your head and look up, directly facing a bulging, red bat whose head is squished flat. Wow, it's so big. What a great day today. First there's a natural Jason's wife, and now you meet such a charming red fat bat. Seeing that the fat bat's head is squished, you're happy to free it from the abyss of happiness. Before you can extend a friendly hand, he hesitates. Ma'am. You subconsciously answer. He repeats. Please give me what's in your hand. What's in your hand? He wants this ring that makes love eternal. That's too direct. You smile shyly, and raise the ring towards the cute fat bat. I understand, wife. When are we going to register? Register? His tone becomes very strange. Red Hood's heart skips a beat. Yes, Red Hood. Crime Alley is his territory. So when these two jewelry thieves broke into Crime Alley, it was his job to track them down. But he didn't expect to meet you here. When he heard you call him wife, he thought you recognized him. Does anyone in this world really recognize him by his pectoral muscles? Not like Dickie's ass. You didn't recognize him at all. You just have a preference for pectoral muscles. He just wants to be grateful that he has the good habit of leaving the bat channel. Otherwise, if those bats heard this question, they'd laugh at him for being called an alien for at least half a year. I'm sure I'm an earthling. Red Hood says helplessly and amusedly, and gets back to the topic. Ma'am, what you're holding is stolen goods from a jewelry store. It'll cause you unnecessary trouble. It really is stolen goods. You're about to hand the bag to this bat vigilante member, when you remember something, and suddenly pull your hand back. Is there a reward? In some RPG games, this task would probably be called Retrieve Stolen Jewelry. But RPG tasks all have rewards. There's so much stolen jewelry, there should be some monetary reward, right? Of course there is. Red Hood retracts his hand without changing his expression. These gems are from a Wayne jewelry store. Bruce Wayne is offering a $100,000 reward for them. As long as you can retrieve these jewels, the $100,000 is yours. There's no $100,000 reward. This batch of jewelry was just stolen, and the jewelry store's alarm only rang a short time ago. Old man didn't offer a reward. However, he doesn't mind helping you squeeze out some reward. He can see that you don't want to embezzle this batch of jewelry. You just want some reward, which is fine. This batch of jewelry is worth more than tens of millions, and a $100,000 reward isn't much. Exclamation point. How much? $100,000. Your eyes light up, and your expression is more sincere than ever before. Where should I send these jewels? $100,000 is equivalent to 2 of Drake's personally signed checks. As expected, old man is old man. He's offering twice as much as his adopted son. Seeing that you want to pick up the reward in person, Red Hood doesn't stop you. Just send this batch of jewelry to Eternal Jewelry Store in Commercial Street, and they'll give you the reward after they count it. Thanks, wife. You happily put away the velvet bag, and throw it into your backpack. I'll treat you to dinner when I get the reward. If only making money in the real world was this easy. Red Hood. Please don't call me that. He ignores the sentence about treating him to dinner. After all, who would eat with a helmet on? Skillfully tying up the 2 unconscious thieves, Red Hood turns to look at you. Leave these 2 to me, go get the reward. Wow, he's willing to help you clean up the mess. He's so beautiful and kind. All right, you carrying the expensive jewelry, are about to leave, when you stop and turn back. Wife, what's your code name? Don't call me that. Red Hood emphasizes the words one by one. Seeing that your expression doesn't change, and you don't intend to change, he responds helplessly. Red Hood, my code name. You don't plan to change your mind, because players are so domineering, and say what they mean. Wow, that's such a coincidence. I'm Red Scarf. It's nice to meet you. You smile and wave to him slightly. Looking forward to our next meeting. After saying goodbye to Red Hood, you head straight to the jewelry store located in Commercial Street. Without transportation and enough energy points, you choose to take a taxi, and sincerely hope to meet another unlicensed driver, for a win-win-win situation. Not paying, robbing some money, and earning some energy points. Unfortunately, this time you met a law-abiding good driver. You have no choice but to pay the fare. 2 police cars were parked outside the jewelry store. The store manager was calmly talking with the officers, seemingly accustomed to jewelry theft. Spotting you stepping out of a taxi, the manager excused himself from the officers and walked towards you. Good evening, are you Miss Red? Miss Red? It took you a beat to realize they were referring to you upon hearing the name. You immediately responded, yes, that's me. Mr. Wayne already told us about you. Thank you so much for your help. The manager smiled and ushered you inside. Sorry for the mess. It was more than just a mess. The display cases were shattered, the jewelry inside swept clean, and the floor was covered in shards of glass. It's okay. You were here to collect a reward, not to clean. The mess didn't bother you. You handed her the bag and backpack together. Please check if everything matches. The manager replied. Of course, one moment please. Perhaps due to frequent thefts, they counted the jewelry very quickly. You had barely sat down to check the messages on your cell phone when they finished. Yes, all the stolen jewelry has been recovered. The manager's expression relaxed, and their smile became more sincere. Miss Red, we'll pay the reward now. Almost as soon as the words left their mouth, that familiar vibration came. You took out your cell phone and saw a notification text for the reward deposited. Your bank account has received $100,000. Current balance is $145,000. This game is realistic in every way, except for how unrealistically fast it is when it comes to money. Got the reward, thanks. You waved your hand, about to leave, when you suddenly remembered the random items in your backpack. A jewelry store isn't just a store, and should be able to buy back goods. With that thought, you turned around and looked at the manager again. Excuse me, I was wondering if you could buy some things from me? The manager paused, then put on a professional smile. Of course. What would you like to sell? Yes, time to sell junk. Flipping through the sell menu, you only wanted to sell those odds and ends, including the nth hand cell phone. Sadly, that junk wasn't worth much. However, the guns and bullets could fetch a decent price. Remembering that you hadn't used the guns in the previous combat encounters, you decided to sell them all. Notice, sold the above items. Money plus 1,377. Seeing your balance rise from 0 to the current 151,820, a sense of accomplishment welled up inside you. Look at that. You work diligently in Gotham to earn money, but can't even earn 150K in a single day. You need a method of making money with local flair. Thanks. Carrying around a six-figure sum, you cheerfully said goodbye to the jewelry store manager. As soon as you stepped out of the store, the familiar alarm clock suddenly rang in your ears. Beep, beep, beep. A game pop-up appeared along with it. Notice, you have been in the game for 2 hours. Please take a break and enjoy entertainment in moderation. You've spent almost an entire day in the game, but only 2 hours have passed in reality? Awesome. You were satisfied with this game experience, and were about to exit the game when the pop-up reappeared. Notice, please find a safe place to exit the game to avoid encountering danger when you re-enter the game. Seeing safe, you remembered that you hadn't used the instant teleport function yet. Activating the instant teleport function, a grayed-out miniature map of Gotham City was projected onto the back of your hand. You clicked on the only bright spot on the map. Teleport. Yes, the world seemed to freeze, and your body suddenly felt lighter. The surrounding scenery turned into faint lines until your feet touched solid floor again. You were standing in the living room of the safe house. Pretty convenient. Before exiting the game, you cleared the unread messages on your cell phone. Common mission, steal back the stolen jewelry completed. While wandering around, you saw 2 suspicious-looking crooks. You decided to steal their ill-gotten gains. Reward stolen jewelry 1, energy points plus 3. Common mission, please give me the reward completed. Want the jewelry back? Sure, but please pay a reward. Reward, money plus 100,000, energy points plus 5. Money, 151,820. Energy points, 27. Material, amber gold 1. Game saved. Gotham City awaits your return. Just another ordinary workday. The only thing to be thankful for was that you were currently working from home, due to the bomb attack on your commute route half a month ago. Thank you, Drake Jr. CEO. Not only did he visit you in the hospital, he covered all the treatment costs, approved your leave, and allowed you to work from home after your leave, until your health checkup came back with no issues. What a great guy. If he weren't your real-life boss, he'd be your wife in the game. Mainly because you were worried that if you got too comfortable with playful teasing in the game, you'd blurt out wife, instead of boss, when you met him in real life. Just thinking about that scenario made your toes want to dig a hole to China. After finishing the morning's work, you made a simple sandwich. You wanted to search for other players' game experiences on social media, but instead you found the Gotham Life game forum. The game forum was created by the Gotham Life development team. The forum account was linked to the player account, so you could directly see the game time, player achievements, and even view the specific data in the game, such as money, energy points, etc. After successfully logging into the forum, you looked at the game information. Wait, when did you unlock an achievement? You curiously clicked on the small icon, and descriptive text popped up. Bounty Hunter King. Who else can rake in $150,000 in a single day? Okay. Even the game recognizes your behavior of earning $150K in a day. Without hesitation, you gave yourself a thumbs up. You opened the player discussion section, and a large number of posts came into view. Strategy where to find upgrade materials, hot. Strategy NPC health bar strategy, hot. Strategy fast energy point farming, hot. Discussion I found out that the large missions in the internet module seem to have a time limit. Discussion FXCK. Currently serving time in prison, don't follow my example. Discussion detailed interpretation of the Court of Owls. Wow, there are already strategy posts for upgrade materials? You were about to click to take a look, but hesitated. The process of finding materials was also part of exploring the game. If you looked at the strategy, it would definitely reduce the gameplay. Never mind, you decided not to look at the strategy. You resisted the urge to check the strategy, and ignored the strategy posts of those expert players. Only reading some interesting shares. Discussion FXCK. Currently serving time in prison. Don't follow my example. Main post. This damn game is too realistic. I actually saw my former boss in the game. This bastard not only deducted my salary, but also beat me up. I thought, there's no way I'm letting you get away with that. I just got my hands on those gloves, and I wanted to test their ability on him. I didn't control myself well, and accidentally beat him to death. It was on the street at the time. Some passers-by called the police. The police chased me for 2 blocks. I desperately resisted arrest, which attracted Batman. God knows how Batman could appear during the day. 1L, and then? Did you kill Batman? 2L. You fought Batman on the first day of the game. Brother, you're really awesome. 3L. Doesn't the title explain it? If he killed Batman, would he still need to be in prison? 12L replies to 1L no. Bats are scary. He calculated the shield's cooldown time, and didn't fight me in close combat. I didn't even touch his cape, before I was taken down by batarangs. Now the gloves have been taken away, and I'm serving time in Blackgate prison, smiley face. 13L replies to 2L. No, don't provoke bats, at least not in the early stages. He's too scary. 14L. Post author I just want to know if I can get the gloves back, sad face. If I don't get the gloves back, I can't break out of prison. I have to serve 5 years in Blackgate prison. Who wants to be in prison for 5 years in the game? I'm going to complain for a refund. What? You get arrested and sentenced to prison in the game? This wasn't actually surprising. The games you've played also have police pursuits and imprisonment, but most of them would let you out after 12 hours. How did this game actually give a sentence, and a 5-year sentence at that? 1 day in the game corresponds to about 2 hours in reality, so 1 year in the game is equivalent to 1 month in reality. 5 years is 5 months. After calculating this, you deeply sympathized with the poster, who goes on a game to go to prison, and having to sit in prison for 5 months. 5 months is enough to wear away a player's enthusiasm for the game. Fortunately, you only robbed some criminals, and they didn't dare to call the police. Otherwise, remembering that you almost kidnapped Drake at the beginning, you couldn't help but be grateful to those thugs. If they hadn't kidnapped Drake first, you would be the one in prison and posting on the forum. Why did this game have to be so realistic, making players so constrained? Complaining aside, you gave up on the quick money methods like kidnapping. Rather than sending yourself to Blackgate prison, it's better to specifically rob criminals of their money. Anyway, they don't have the guts to call the police. No police report equals no crime, and no crime means no prison. Perfect. After expressing sympathy for the poster's unlucky experience, you continued to browse other posts. You were surprised to find that players like the imprisoned blogger weren't rare. The most exaggerated one killed too many people, wantonly destroyed the city, and hurt the police. He was directly sent to Arkham Asylum by Batman, and became a patient with the Joker and Scarecrow. TSK, becoming a supervillain is also a kind of Gotham Life, isn't it? Anyway, you can't bring yourself to kill those NPCs who are indistinguishable from real people. Seeing that it was almost time, you didn't continue browsing the posts, and started working on the afternoon's work. After a busy day, you ate dinner and logged into the game directly. Welcome back to Gotham City. Game loading.